that God is there. Oak Tree, yo.
What's good, y'all? What's good, Jet? How you doing, man?
All you do is slobber KD.
Oh shit! Every time I see Jet's name, I just remember Bruce. Oh shit! These clips, bro. These clips are something else, man. How y'all feeling today? You know, this is what I'm hoping, right? I'm hoping that this is where we just get the injuries out the way, and we get the injuries out the way, and we we rest guys when we need to rest them, and we can just keep our head above water, right? But my goal, my aim is to be 8 to 10 games above 500 until around January, right? I think if we can get there, we're going to be in a good spot. Urkel knows something and has worked out how to share without sharing. Oh my goodness. Why are you accusing me of things? Why are you accusing me of things? I don't know anything.
Yo.
I don't know anything. But I will say this. We need to figure out, or they need to figure out. You see that shit last? I saw certain things on a timeline. This team needs to figure out because Jimmy Butler is actually good. And when Steph Curry isn't there, you can't be using Jimmy Butler that way. You know?
Eric, this is look, bro. I don't want to harp on this, but we got to move on from Steve Kerr, man.
Expound upon that, please. I beg.
I mean, can you disagree at this point, man? I feel
No.
like we've
I've
seen
been
this.
saying this for years, right? Like, I know why Steve is doing it, but it's not. It's an inefficient thing to do, right? And the Steve Kerr thing, it's literally protecting one guy. Okay? It's literally protecting one guy. One guy it's protecting, nobody else. And did anyone see how they were guarding Draymond yesterday? Okay. Let me show a little snippet of how they're guarding this guy. And it happens every year, by the way. It's a dynamic that exists every year, right? Draymond has the ball in the middle of the floor, right? So I guess they're playing a zone right here, or a semi-zone, right? Draymond has the ball, and look at the amount of room that Draymond has, right? Look at this room right here. So JK gets the ball right here, and JK has a guy closing out, and he makes the right play. He passes to the open man. Pods is wide open. Pods misses the shot. Okay? That happened again and again and again last night. And, Steve Kerr came out the other night and he said that we can't be doing the post ups and the ISOs and all of that stuff that was good in whenever, blah, 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 blah. Right? Whoa. Who do you think that was a shot at? Do you think that was a shot?
JK, and then people want to say he's not being aggressive, and I think it's not fair, bro. Like, I think we just need to move on from Steve Kerr at this point. We brought JK back. Dude, I'm telling you, Steve Kerr is the problem. Let's just move on. I understand Steph may not like it, but sometimes, bro, as a GM, you got to do what's best for the team, man. You got
So
to
I'm
tell
going to be dead
Steph.
ass honest with you, right? That's not a attack against that right there is actually not an attack against JK. Do you know who it's an attack against?
Who? Jimmy?
Jimmy Butler. Yes.
No. Then we definitely gotta move on, bro.
Okay. Right. So that's who that's an attack against, because like, sure, you can talk about JK. JK is an easy target. All the young guys are going to be a target, right? But if you're saying we can't play through the post and we can't do this and we can't do that, where the fuck does Jimmy operate then? You think Jimmy Butler operates at the top of the key? No, he's down in the low block. Tell me that I'm wrong. I mean, I'm looking for y'all to tell me that I'm wrong, by the way.
Yeah, so we gotta move on, man. We gotta move on from Steve.
Oak Tree.
Okay, so Oak Tree, if you think I'm wrong, and I'm not calling you OG Tree, you're Oak Tree from now on, right? So Oak Tree, if you think I'm wrong, I mean, just look at Jimmy Butler's body language. Does he look happy to you? Dead ass, bro. Like you just need to look at him. You know what I'm saying? You just need to look at him, bro. Like he's not really a happy camper. Just look at him. You know what I'm saying? Steph is not there last night, and we are running offense. We're running offense like Steph is out there. Why are we not playing through Jimmy Butler? Maybe we would have had. Why are we doing the Draymond thing when Steph is not there? Urkel, another person, said the same thing. Who else is saying that? Man, I've been saying that for the longest. Before I came on here, I was having like a 2-hour conversation with somebody about the same thing. You know what I'm saying? A 2-hour conversation about the same thing. And throughout the course of the conversation, I came to realize certain things while I
But
was
why is he even dissing these guys? I don't, bro, that's what I'm saying.
Did he not say
I think
that
we
in
should
the press
just move
conference the
on.
other day?
We should just listen, guys, whether you think he's talking about Jimmy, whether you think he's talking about JK, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The point is, we need to move on from Steve Kerr. Can we at least agree on that? Or do we still have people that are on the Steve Kerr bandwagon? Is that still a thing this season? Or are we all coming to the light? Like the Team USA moved on from this guy. We got to start seeing the light, guys.
Yeah. No, I am there with you, man. I'm there with you. But,
We're gonna be in a playing game. We're gonna be in a playing again, guys.
at this rate,
If we
absolutely.
if we keep Steve Kerr, we're gonna be in a playing.
Yeah. At this rate. But this is kind of what I was saying, bro. I was like, this course of action, right? This course of action. When I heard him say that the other night, I just rolled my eyes. I was like, so you build a team in a certain way. You have us play in a certain way. You socialize the team to play in a certain way. And you say, this guy can't do this, that guy can't do that. And you socialize guys to doing a certain thing. And then when Steph is not there, that whole idea just blows up, And then we watch what happened. Right? So that game last night, I expected to lose that game, but there was a path to win that game, and we didn't lean into that path. Like when you watch them coming back or whatever, and there's a certain way that they were playing,
Right.
But yo, we just can't play that way, bro. We cannot be running split actions and we're doing misdirections, and all teams are just doing is they're just switching and they're just blowing up the action just by simply switching because they can. No one is slipping that screen, popping out for what's good, bro? You're in the blender.
I'm in the blender. Let me drop. Let me see if I can come back out.
Yo, Oak
And
Tree.
it wouldn't have hurt. It probably wouldn't have hurt that bad if we would have won the other game that we could have won.
Bro.
And then not only that, we had earlier games like in the season that we could have won too, guys. We're gonna struggle with this thing, and we're gonna drop these little games, and at the end of the season, y'all gonna be wondering why we're a playing team. But you're not gonna remember that I've been coming over here since the beginning of the season. Look, we're in
Yeah,
the beginning of the season right now, and I'm telling y'all, little games like this is what's gonna cause us to be a playing team. I'm
bro.
telling you.
I'm not sure if you have a chance to listen to the spaces because you're in Florida, and by the time we get to spaces, it's probably like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock your time, right? But this is a shit that I've been saying on spaces, bro. I'm like, yo, like this thing right here where we're just tossing games and we're doing the most. We can't do that, bro. And the cool part about the Pacers game is that when we got that lead back, go look how much they were actually playing through Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? Draymond needs to figure out. Draymond, everyone is sitting here adjusting to Draymond. Okay. Everyone is sitting here adjusting to Draymond. Draymond needs to figure out what he can do with himself. You know what I'm saying? He really does, bro. Draymond is the one that really needs to go and sacrifice and all of that. Stop being little finger behind the scenes and figure out how you can help the team, not what the team can do for you, but what you can do for the team. Because this thing where we're trying to run Draymond offense, like it's not going to work, bro. That shit is done. We should be playing through Jimmy Butler. We should be playing through Steph Curry. We should be playing through Jonathan fucking Kuminga. That's what we should be doing, right? We should not be playing through Draymond Green. In that Minnesota series, when Steph was out, you saw who they were playing through. They were playing through Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, and that was it, right? Draymond was just out there, doing his thing. Draymond is the one that needs to adjust, okay? And I'm not trying to hear no subliminals about no podcast, and you go on your podcast and you say this and you say that, right? But you need to figure out how you can help the team. You have made a pretty good fucking career, and the team has bent over backwards with you doing all types of nonsense over the years by helping you. Now you need to really sacrifice and figure out how you can make Kuminga comfortable, how you can make Jimmy Butler comfortable, right? When Jimmy Butler got here, you know, um, um, you know that Jimmy Butler should be doing he should be having the touches that Draymond has. Do you know why? Because he can do more with the ball. He can score. He can play make. All right. So you need to figure out how Kerr, Steph, Draymond, all of them have to figure out how they can move away from the Draymond thing and go to the Jonathan Kuminga thing and the Jimmy Butler thing. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell y'all this, okay? Let me be bluntly honest with y'all. If this thing doesn't work out and we're hovering around, say, 500, right? You think they're going to trade away Jonathan Kuminga? Who do you think they're going to trade
Would you
away?
say, Ert? Would you say, Ert?
If we get to the deadline, okay, and say we are where we were at last season, who do you think they're trading away?
No, we're not trading Kaminga. Once we
Okay.
got him back on that deal, I don't think you remember. I came on here and I told you I was like, bro, once we got him on that deal, that's what this whole thing was about. It was a good cop, bad cop thing. You see what I'm saying? And now we need to move on from the bad cop. Like the bad cop thing, like it worked to our advantage for a time. We got to get Kaminga on a good contract. Now let's move on from Steve, bro. That's where I'm at.
Let me say this.
But look, this is another
Yeah.
thing. And y'all know I'm a Jimmy guy. We might have to move on from Jimmy too, man. Like, what is Jimmy doing, bro? Jimmy has to be more aggressive, bro. And Jimmy is my guy. Y'all know that.
I
But
don't
I
think
gotta
it's
call
Jimmy's
him
fault.
out, bro. Jimmy's getting paid too much money, bro, for wherever Steph's not there. He doesn't look like a guy, bro.
I want people to understand. Let me say it again, okay? If we don't fix up soon, we are going to get a trade, but it won't be the trade that y'all want. Okay? It won't be January 15th, we trade away Jonathan Kuminga. Okay? You might not get what you want. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be something else.
All right, so we're talking about trades.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna trade anybody, man. Do we need a trade? Is that what you're saying, Eric?
I'm
Do
not
we
saying
need a
that we need
trade?
a trade, right? But
I
I
don't
just
think
know
we
what
need a
happened.
trade. I just think we need a change in leadership. We have a
Yeah.
good team. We have a good team, man.
I 100% think we have a good team.
Oak Tree.
So you think
With dumb
you think
trees.
changing the coach
Tree.
would help the team without changing the actual roster?
Yes.
What philosophy do you think it can be any coach? What philosophy do you think
Oak
another
Tree.
coach is bringing that suddenly makes these guys better players than what they've shown you?
What do you mean?
You said a new coach will change things, so I'm asking how that works. If these play because you're basically stating that a new coach will make these
But
current
a new
players
coach, a new
play
coach will
better.
have different. A new coach will have different rotations.
So that's what
Just a
I'm asking
different.
you. Like,
That's what I'm
explain that
saying.
to me. What does that look
So
like?
like a night like Will Richard have, right? You don't have to put Will Richard in when we're already getting blown out by 20. You see what I'm
So
saying?
when we did put Real Richard in, like, how much did that make a difference?
You're not. We were already getting blown out by 20. That's my
But
point.
even though we were getting blown out, I'm asking, once he came in, how much of a
He hit a
difference?
big three. Did he not? He hit a big three.
Sure.
But guess what? We had a lot of turnovers. I mean, man, come on, man. Paz didn't play great. Paz had a lot of little sloppy little turnovers.
Keep going.
It wasn't.
Don't stop at pods, because it wasn't just pods. That's the thing. That's what the whole spaces was yesterday. It wasn't just pods. There was no one on our team who could defend. Not one. Not a single person. There wasn't a person who was creating any type of offense that
Wow.
was
All right. So,
sustainable.
okay. Look, man, at this point, I feel like we've all seen Steve Kerr throughout the years. I'm not finna sit here and argue with you about it, bro. Like, I get your point, but I feel differently, man. I don't think this guy's a good coach at all. I think he's one of the worst coaches in the league.
I'm fine. I'm fine with you feeling that way, but you haven't given me any solution to how the rotations could be better. Like you mentioned Will Richard, which is fine, but he's also a rookie. So the extent of which he's going to help you is going to reach its limit, because like I said, he's just a rookie. So he's going to have good games. He's also going to have bad games. He's had bad games this season, quote unquote bad games.
Yeah,
So
but he
I
didn't
just don't
necessarily
see.
have a bad game. I feel like you didn't really put him in. Listen, and then another thing, like it's like this, right? Why do we have to play like Steph is on the floor when Steph is not on the floor? Like, why do we have to play that way, bro? We could play, and then why do you have to sneak this? Your players, when you know
So
you're
if
gonna need them when Steph's not there, you know you're gonna need them. You're gonna come out and say, "Oh yeah, we can't be posting up and whatever." What did he say, Eric? Come on, man. Like
Yep.
we just sat here and talked about it, bro. I'm not gonna argue with you about it, bro.
So
Like
if we play the same way the rest of the league plays, which is high ball screen, drive and kick, who is our center who can, be a threat on the roll?
we don't really have one. I mean,
Okay, so how do we
unless you
run
want
that
to put
offense?
Trace a little bit. Trace played all right.
But how do we run that offense if Trace is the main guy who's getting downhill? What defense is going to respect Trace's downhill
Bro, you
ability?
got Quentin Post. You still got size. You got Quentin Post who could pick and pop. That's very important in this league right now. So come
Right,
on, man.
right. I'm not disagreeing,
We
but
don't need to have
every
Draymond. We don't need to have Draymond making decisions and all this type of stuff, bro. We don't need to. We don't need to do that, bro.
Every alternative you're giving me
We could
has a
get you could
very
get
short
Kaminga the ball,
ceiling.
get Kaminga the ball, let him go downhill. You see what I'm saying?
He couldn't get
You could
downhill
give you
because the
could
team
give
was
you could
packing the
give
paint last night.
you could give Jimmy the ball.
In what? We everything that you're
You know
saying
what
we
I'm
watched
saying?
happen last night and it didn't work.
Buddy Hill minutes
OG Trey.
don't need to happen. You
Hey,
need to
what up?
play.
What up,
You need
y'all
to play
boys?
Will Richard.
Can I
You don't need to play
can
Buddy
I
Hill.
can
You
I
need to
s-
play Will Richard. Will Richard got the high
hey
hand. The man just dropped 30. Am I
hey
right, Bruce?
this
Am I right,
guy
Bruce?
facts. That's a fact. Yeah, what up, homie? Nah, you cooking right now. I'm not gonna hold you. OG Trey, like I be understanding where you be coming from, but sometimes it's like you answering the own like questions and problems that you posing. What you got to understand is like so me, I'm not gonna come up here and talk about the coach. I'm not gonna fault anybody for wanting the coach to I just would want Kerr to adjust in the sense of there's no Steph. How about we not try and play the Steph Curry offense or try it? And if it's not working, do something else. The downside to it is that when you're saying, okay, you couldn't do anything, the paint is packed and all that, it's solely because you got a team full of specialists, right? And how much more reps, film, game, simulations, and practices do you need to see like player X doesn't bring what we need to the table when we need a counter? So we probably need to acquire an additional player. And like,
We
I
can't do
know
anything
I don't want
about
to
that
like
right now though, Bruce.
no, hold on. No, but see, again, like I hear what you're saying, but just look at the NBA landscape on it on a whole. The season starts off, you have scales and statistics going out. You have rumors. Right now, I'm seeing rumors of John Morant to Miami. Dude, like, how do we know that's going to happen? Like, that could be fake, right? I'm not saying let's talk about things and get the trade machine going, but there are things and there's solutions, right? Even if it's just from a fan's perspective to feel better about going into the next few games.
And that's what
The
I'm
the
willing to
notion of like
discuss.
but are
But
you? Because it seems like when other people kind of like suggest based off of their observation, you just shut it down and just say like, "Yeah, we can't do that. We got to
I
work with
actually
this.
didn't shut it down.
Nah,
I
this is
asked
what
him
works."
which players we would use, and then I asked him why the defense doesn't respect these players. These are
Bro,
valid questions.
I gave you an example. I told when we started the conversation, I said, bro, the rotations have to be different. I gave you an
Right.
example. I said, bro, instead of Buddy Hield, you gotta put Will Richard in. You
Yes, and
gotta put
that's
Will Richard in.
fine. But again,
For
he
example,
is
I
a
would have started.
rookie.
I came in since the beginning of the season. I came in and I told Irk, me and Irk got into a little argument because I told him, bro, I wanted to start Quentin Post. I still
And
want to start Quentin Post
Yeah.
we
every
can
night.
do all of that, but what I'm saying is if we're going to, because the whole issue is we're running a bad offense, which lends to bad rotations. So if we're going to change that offense, we can put these people in the game. That's fine. But if that offense is going to be drive and kick, pick and roll, we do not have the personnel
Bro,
to
so
run
your
that.
whole thing is, all right, so we're just gonna keep doing this.
The-
All
the-
right,
here's
cool.
what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. All right, again, the Warriors have been in dogfights. They've damn near changed the game from like a stylistic standpoint, particularly because of Steph Curry, right? And Klay Thompson, and the list goes on, right? And Draymond being that tweener, then turned into a small ball five power forward, right?
No,
So they've
Bruce, this whole
seen
thing is when Steph's not there, we can adjust, bro.
no,
That's my point.
but hold on, but I'm not gonna hold you. It's bigger than when just Steph is not there. It happens sometime when Steph is there. When the Warriors won the playoffs, just this past playoffs, there was a graphic. I'm look for the graphic right now. It was a graphic that showed when they were playing the Rockets that like the past 5 minutes, Steph Curry had either scored or assisted every single point. And when he sat down, the Warriors were scoreless for about 5 minutes. So that takes place even when he's there. But what happens is because of his gravity or because of a barrage he allows to happen either by him or some teammate, right? there's
Right.
still a catch up and things of that nature. And you go into the locker room, third quarter, Warriors come out and there's another barrage, and it's kind of the math and the game even in itself out. But these small like deficiencies are there. Like if we're just thinking that there's a breach only when Steph is there, we're not really watching the game. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
when teams are sagging off, when teams are playing Draymond like he's Ben Simmons, and then sagging off of pods, and then people are getting an erection because Pod's percentages says 37%, but now you as the starting point guard, we need you to create offense, and you can't even do that. I'm looking at Walter Clayton, another Gator, in Utah, having a great start to his professional career, right? That is the true floor general. That is a guy who can create for his teammates, and that's a rookie. He's
He's
not no
not
high
playing
volume
next to Steph
scorer.
Curry. You
I
understand that
again,
this
again,
roster,
again,
this
again,
roster is
again.
built around Stephen
OG,
Curry. So when he's not on the
OG,
court, guess what? They're
OG,
not going to perform
OG,
properly.
OG. Again, that is not true because even when Steph is on the court, they don't perform properly sometimes. And again, I'm not
Sometimes.
trying to indict any one person. I am simply saying, let's use our eyes. Don't tell me what the statistics say. Let's use our eyes. Quentin Bulls came off the bench yesterday and essentially was the best player in the game. That should never happen. Jimmy Butler's my guy for a fact. Jimmy Butler's also making 60 mil. And then I get it. Some people want Jimmy Butler to be aggressive, but if you notice, Jimmy Butler don't even want to do anything wrong to be looked at as the bad guy, right?
It's not
It's up to
about
Steve
that.
Kerr to no, listen to what
Look
I'm
at our
saying,
schedule.
OG, bro. Stop trying to cut me off,
We're
bro.
speaking
Just
with
hear me
so
what I'm
much
saying.
emotion and not looking
Hear
at
me.
what's
Here,
going
no, no, no,
on.
no, no, no.
Look at
Hold
our
on. Here's to what
schedule.
I'm saying.
Look at
Here's
our
to what I'm
schedule.
saying. Forget the schedule. Forget the schedule.
Okay,
Here's to
we
what I'm
can.
saying. I'm in the city, Miami. Jimmy Butler was here in Miami. Miami has a system. They play a specific set way. But then they have also had superstars, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh as a star player as well, right? They have had to sometimes alter what the X and O's says. And we've seen this if you have watched that organization at its peaks and its valleys. Okay. Now I'm just stop, baby. Relax, relax. And I'm just mentioning as far as in Jimmy Butler on the more recent biggest stage, there were times where no Tyler Hero, no player X. Now you got to play with Gabe Vincent, Max Struess, and all these other guys. And now Coach Spo is saying, you know what, go ahead and create something because obviously the philosophy isn't working. And so Steve Kerr got to allow himself to do that same thing. And it even happened. Kevin Durant, way better than all these other teammates. And even when he was here, that was a problem. You see what I mean? And I get it.
So
I
what?
don't want to necessarily play
If
Kevin
we had
Durant. Go
KD
ahead.
and it was a problem, what exactly are you looking to solve?
What I'm saying is that when you had KD and it was a problem, I'm not saying I would rather stick to a KD system far as like Russell Westbrook, KD, my turn, your turn. But some series and some games, there you got to throw a monkey wrench in there, and sometimes you got to bring something different to the table, or sometimes you got to just go back to grade school and it's just go bucket for bucket or whatever that is as far as whatever's working.
So
And I'm not saying if they didn't change for KD, why would they change now? But I am saying the league has caught up. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the league was not prepared for what Golden State did. Like they took the entire world by surprise, which is why Steph is an anomaly, which is why he's unanimous. But at the same time, if you allow the league to catch up and then you still make no adjustments because you're sold on your philosophy, then we can't complain or, think it's strange that you're in these dog fights when star
Can I
players are not in the game and you're still losing.
can I
so
ask you something?
OG Trey,
Go
your
ahead.
whole thing is what Kaminga's the problem?
Oh my gosh. I'm not singling out any player. The problem is we can't defend. That's the problem. The problem is also our schedule. We probably have the toughest schedule in the league as of right now today.
Hold on, OG Trey.
Go ahead.
You say that we can't defend, right? I heard
Right,
a little
yeah.
something this morning, right? So, why can't we defend?
I'm I'm saying, I'm going to partially blame the early season schedule because we've seen us go against quote unquote contenders this
So that
year.
has nothing to do with the
And
coach, bro.
Bro, like I know something right now, and I'm trying to figure out like how I can say it.
How does
do you
defense
think?
have nothing
Okay,
to do with the
okay. Let
coach,
me
though,
just
OG
ask this
Trey?
quick question. Let me just
Let
ask
me
this
ask
quick
you
question.
that.
Do you think Steve is managing our vets minutes? Like as far as like holding them out rest wise, the minutes they're playing in the games. Do you think he's
Okay.
managing those?
He is.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So let me figure out how I can say this without saying it. Steve is trying to manage the minutes, whether by not playing the guys and by playing the guys. Okay. So let me say it again, right? Steve is trying to manage the guys by resting them, and he's also trying to manage the guys by playing them. Okay? So there's certain concessions that's being made. Okay? There's certain concessions that's being made within playing those guys that is leading to, and I can show it on the film. Like I can actually back it up, right? I can show certain things within the film to show where to kind of back up what I'm saying right now. So let me say it again. Let me start over. Steve is preserving the guys by not playing them, i.e., Al Horford and so on and so forth, and by playing them. So we wonder why so many holes are in our defense right now. Guys are getting preserved by playing. If you watch the film, you can see it. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things happening defensive wise, and I think they can fix all of these things, right?
I
But
agree.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It can't be where, all right, we have these young guys just playing defense, and then we are preserving other guys who are older. No, bro. Everybody got to get down in the dirt and start digging as well. Everybody.
Another factor. See, this is the reason this is so complex and why we can't just point a finger. There are so many factors going into this. Kerr is also like he's done this his entire career. He's experimenting. He always says he'll have it figured out by the first 20 or 30 or so games, or 20 or 30 so games. He does this. So if you account for him experimenting, managing old players, our crazy ass schedule and how many back-to-backs we're playing, all of those go into everything that we're seeing on the court right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's hard for me to get too low or too high when I understand. Like when you look at the schedule, whenever I look at it on the calendar, like the 30-day view, that shit looks so ridiculous. As far as like it looks like I'm playing 2K. That shit looks like I'm playing 2K.
You are right. There's a lot of 3 games in 4 nights type of situations happening right now, and you are completely correct within saying that, right? However, the thing that I'm mentioning, it's never going to work. And I also will say this, right? I want y'all to look at not just the players, okay? But look at the coaching staff as well. All right? Look to see who is happy from who's not happy. Players and coaches is alike, right? Look all across that whole thing and just observe what the fuck is actually going on. All right? Because I think there are some other things that's going on internally as well. Okay? Within the team and just like that whole dynamic that exists right now. Okay?
What's going on, y'all?
Lee, what's good?
Hey, is it in reference to what you spoke about a few days ago in regards to body language with a particular individual?
Yes.
Yep.
Have you noticed the same thing?
I noticed that, I think, after they went, what was it, 4-2? I started to see it early.
Eldad, message me that of who you talking about without saying too much. You feel me?
Yep.
Right.
I
may have missed Robin.
So there is another.
Robin is beat up and he's not playing with his Batman. So it's hard to detract any information from a guy who was brought in to play with another guy and that other guy is not playing.
All right. So what's the thing that every fan base has been saying, or everyone within the fan base has been saying so far? What have we been attacking?
The defense.
The defense? Okay. Who runs the defense?
Oh, Draymond Green.
Nah. Who's responsible?
Jerry Stackhouse.
Pay attention. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. That's all I gotta say. Just pay attention.
I just don't think until we get out of this little stretch that we're in, this tough stretch.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's or unless Steph plays. Like if everyone's healthy, all the vets are healthy and they're playing, then okay, I expect to win those games.
So we're not.
But
So your whole thing is this isn't a big deal, and we
no,
have
not at
nothing to
all.
worry about.
No, unless someone like gets like actually hurt, then no, I think we're fine.
OG Trey.
Hey man,
I would
I
usually
think
agree with you on that.
I think we got a little bit to worry about, dog. And
I think we
I
got
would
something to
usually
worry about.
agree too.
Yeah.
I would usually agree too, but nah.
You know, the thing is, I go both. Pause. I agree with both.
Ah,
I agree with both OG, and I agree with Urkel, and I agree with everybody else on the panel because last
Yeah,
year,
good catch, my
right?
boy. That was gonna be wild.
I know it was gonna be
Crazy
wild.
clip.
It
Crazy
was
clip.
gonna be insane. I did not need that to be clipped up.
I did not know what I was talking about.
He's a freak.
Who would have thought that they used on me? OG Trey, what he's saying in regards to not being worried, I think that lends itself to last year in the playoffs because if Steph didn't get injured, to OG's point, they would have been fine. It would have easily been in the West Coast, the Western Conference Finals and possibly the finals. But at the same time, where I have my concerns is just the constant 3-guard lineups. I don't want to even talk about particular players, I'm kind of over that. We're going to have to work with what we got. But we don't have to be small most of the time. And I noticed that Steve is still tries these experiments even after game 30. He was doing that
Thank you.
like late into the season after All-Star break. I think at this particular time,
Honestly, let's be honest. Even this
yeah,
whole not playing Kaminga in the playoff, that's an experiment. He always
yeah,
has these bright ideas.
it's
Like,
hard to say it's an experiment when we won. Like when Curry was healthy, we
it
won.
cost us, bro. It
It
cost us
cost
in the
us.
long.
Yeah.
It did.
To say too, because
Trust
you
me.
was cooking. But
There was more than that
one thing I
cost
would
us,
say is
but I
this. One
agree
thing I would
with
say is this, right? This is what I would say. You see, like how Jimmy Butler came into the Warriors, didn't know play calls or actions. He learned everything on the fly, and it was a seamless fit. Bro, some things don't even need to be experimented. Trust your eyes, right? And move politics and feelings aside. Look at Giddy. Everybody said Giddy, outside of like legal or legalities outside of the NBA, let's focus basketball. Everybody said he was a bust in OKC. Hey, bro, he's a MVP candidate right now. I don't care what references are telling you or what people biased voters want to say. Josh Giddey is a top 5 MVP candidate right now based off of what he is doing, right? He's a seamless fit. There's no more
He still
experimenting.
exhibited those things in
No,
OKC.
no, I didn't say. Come on, OG Trey. Again, let's not derail for no reason. I didn't say that.
I'm not
I didn't say
derailing.
he didn't. I didn't say he didn't show certain qualities. I didn't say that. But the reality is, the best player on that team is SGA. We can't let Giddy or Giddy can't morph into even the sprints that we know he has because SGA is our best player. So now he goes
Agreed.
somewhere else. One of their best players is out right now, and so now this guy looks like an MVP. There's no more experimenting. It's either you're going to play with or we're going to move you. And that's just how it's supposed to be. Experimenting night after night, season after season. You're the defending champ and you're experimenting. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's 3 years later, bro. Like, how much more experiments do you really got to do? You Bill Nye or what?
Yeah. The defense is a problem right now. That's all I gotta say.
yep.
The defense
You
is a
you
problem
you,
right
you say that you say the defense is a problem, and this is also what I believe. Just like offense, we talk about this tiki taka, and the ball has energy, and find the open man. Defense is similar, right? Where this dude is helping me out. Draymond's relieving me. This player's relieving me. Now everybody's on a string. Then when it's like there's a breach, an obvious breach, it doesn't matter how great Draymond is. There's going to be moments where he look like he's getting cooked because it's a collective thing.
now. I just saw something that cracked me up. Oh shit. Unreal, man. Unreal. Let me say this again, right? We need to figure out a way that we can get to the deadline and be around, say, 8 games above, 8 to 10 games above. That should be our goal right now. We cannot
And staying
have.
out of the playing spot.
How many games
Yeah.
will we have played at that point?
Oh shit, I'm not sure. I would have to look to give you an exact number. But we need to.
But every year is different. What if this year, like this year, it look like it's gonna be tough because Spurs, you see what I'm saying? It's gonna be
Yeah,
tough,
there's a
man.
couple of teams. You're
So
right,
we
brother.
can't just say, oh, we won't be at certain games. Like we have to try to be a certain seating at least, you know?
And the thing is, to your point, like typically, if you look at the standings, it's starting to shape up who's going to be at the top.
Right.
That in the past, that didn't take place until like what, maybe January or December, but it's happening right now. Like we
Yeah.
cannot afford to be losing these games. We should be winning. Can't. We already lost 2 of those this year. You can't lose anymore.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation that we're in right now. And I'm telling you, Lee, like last year I was having a conversation with someone about this earlier, right? Every year there is like a sample of say 2 or 3 games that literally define our season to start the year. Okay?
Yep.
The prior year, not this past season. This past season it was the Pelicans, the Spurs, and that Brooklyn game. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the 3 games that and we got to be careful with these games, bro. We have to be careful. The prior year, it was those Minnesota games, right? Where we played Minnesota like back to like I think we played them like a home and away or something like that, right? Those games literally defined our season, right? And we have to be careful with these early games and actually approach them with some seriousness, because the way that we approach those 2 games, the way that Steve approached those 2 games, I still can't believe, bro, that we lost that Milwaukee game and then we turned around, had an 11-point lead, and then we didn't treat that shit with seriousness. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I need for us to actually start to take these games seriously, because the heartbreaking thing about that game is that Jimmy Butler literally gave us an 11-point lead, right? And then I watched fucking Steph and Draymond come in and do fuck shit, bro. Like,
Yep.
like it was so disheartening. You know what I'm saying? And if I was Jimmy Butler, I would be fucking annoyed about that shit, bro. I really would be. Because
that was the game I saw the body language the first time.
100%, Lee. Like that right there is something going on, bro. I'm not going to explicitly say it because y'all know how I do, right? But you know, there's something in something. And if y'all are in here and you open up your eyes and you listen and you pay attention, you will know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yep.
But
Hey,
I'm the
bro,
type.
it's not rocket science, bro. Listen,
Okay.
like I watched the game last night, and then this morning I watched the game again. I don't know, like I've been watching. I have league pass. Like I've been watching the games
Yeah.
the whole season, bro. I don't know how it's not clear, like that this dude got to go, man.
Yeah.
That's just where
There,
I'm at.
there is a dynamic. I mean, there is a dynamic that's there. And y'all are kind of hitting the nail on the head, right? But there is a dynamic there that we kind of need to adjust and we kind of need to figure out. You know what I'm saying? There is a dynamic there because the thing that we've been doing, right? All right, the thing that we did at the end of last season, we need to figure out how we can repackage that and get it going, right?
We haven't
Because
even played that lineup, Urkel.
Okay. Well,
0 minutes, literally 0 minutes.
so you think it's a Moses Moody versus a Jonathan Kuminga thing, right?
Yes.
See, oh man.
What?
Okay.
See, y'all
What?
don't get personal with it. It's not a personal thing. It's all about just being a small forward.
All right, man.
It's about the position.
Wait. Hold on. OG Trade, did you watch Moses Moody yesterday?
Yes.
And you came away from that game still thinking it's a Moses Moody versus a Jonathan Kuminga thing?
So the difference between you and I is I don't look at one game and then make a conclusion.
Oak tree. Dumb tree. Oak tree.
Yeah, man. Anyways, I don't.
Yeah, I've been watching.
Irk,
I've
I
been
Yo,
think.
watching the
can
whole
y'all hear me
season,
better, or
bro.
I'm still
And I'm telling
Much
you,
better, much
blender?
better, much
Steve Kerr.
All right. Let me say this, guys. It's not even about like Moses Moody versus a JK thing, in my opinion. It's the styles of play, bro. Most of these guys are pick and roll. We don't have the motion guys. Pods is not a motion guy.
What do you mean
JK
pick
is
and
not a
roll?
mo.
Pick and roll based on what?
That run that you're talking about with that lineup, it was a pick and roll offense to end the season.
Is that what you believe? Is that what you
It
saw?
No,
was.
it
Wait,
was.
it
That's
was.
not what I believe. It's what I saw.
We were running, maybe Jimmy was catching the ball on the elbow, getting a screen and running a variation of a pick and roll, but we weren't running a pick and roll offense. We were still utilizing Steph's gravity. He was still running off ball. We were still running off ball motion actions. We
Steph is
threw a
his own
routine
entity.
because we
This
had Jimmy.
game, this is where you're misunderstanding. Steph is his own entity. This is not about Steph Curry.
But we're talking about that lineup, right?
It's not a. It's that, like I said, he's excluded from this because he can
But
run
he's in
whatever.
that lineup. You can't exclude him. The lineup actually works mainly because of Steph. So how are we going to exclude the reason it works?
I'm excluding it because he can do multiple offenses. His game is not predicated on that motion offense. Is why I'm excluding him. You do
But
realize that, right?
our team is predicated on the motion offense, though.
And that's why I have to disagree with you.
That's why I asked you, what are you basing us being a pick and roll, our players being pick and roll players on? Because most of these players have only been on this team. So how are they pick and roll players?
So
Don't help.
OG Trey, you suggest we just keep the thing the way and just keep this
Just
doing
keep
the same
chugging
thing.
along. Just keep chugging along.
No, as I mentioned before, we have not run the lineup that was proven to work last season, and I think there is a reason for it. In the past week, actually, I've been hinting that, hey, I'm starting to see regression to the mean from JK. I'm not saying he's playing bad, but I'm saying that the defensive aspect that
Yeah.
matters is starting to regress to the mean, whereas Moody
I don't know about
is
this, bro.
better in that spot. That's
So
all I'm saying.
who do you think is better for the defense, right?
Moody.
Like, all right, hold on. So there's three guys that are vying for that spot. It's
Yeah, but
Pod,
listen, OG Trey, you just said
it's
that you watched the
JK,
whole
and it's
season.
Moody.
How could you have watched the whole season and you said that, bro? How?
So why not? Hold on. Why not just
No,
put?
Irk, how could he say that?
Wait,
Hold on,
wait,
hold on.
say
One
what?
game?
What are you talking
Why
about?
not
You're
just
only
hold up,
saying
hold
this
up,
because
hold
of
up?
one game.
Why
Why
does
we
You
Moses
up
Moody
said
have to
together?
he
be a
wasn't
small
saying.
forward? I don't think Moses Moody is a small forward. Well, why can't Moses Moody be at the two?
That's what I was about to say. Why we can't play them together?
So, okay, before I start going, I want to have a back and forth conversation. I don't want people to just start speaking over me, interrupting me when I speak.
All right, brother.
Okay?
You got the runway, man. Go ahead.
All right. So, the reason that Moses Moody cannot play the two is because Steph likes to play off the ball and we need another ball handler to bring the ball up versus pressure. And we don't. We do have ball handlers in Draymond Green and Jimmy, but we do not want them bringing the ball up versus pressure all game. That's the main reason that Moses Moody can't play the two.
So hold on. How did Clay ever manage in that dynamic without with Steph in the backcourt?
So for one, they were younger. That's really the main reason, because we're trying to preserve Steph as much as possible at this point in his career. So back then they were younger, and Clay had an elite shooting ability. Therefore, his dribbling wasn't necessarily needed because he always had a man who had to guard him. There was always someone guarding Clay. So that takes away the need for the ability to dribble because you're already pulling a man from the defense.
Uh-huh.
So him, and then his ability to move off ball as well, made that 10 times more deadly. So Curry and Clay
Let me
moving
summarize
off
what you're
ball
saying.
allowed
saying
Draymond to be trigger man.
You're saying that we should keep Pods in the starting lineup because he has an ability to bring the ball across half court. Is that what you're saying?
Not only does he you're taking more. He can dribble against pressure.
All right, I'm
For
muting.
one. If you think Moses Moody can consistently bring the ball up against pressure, let me know. Because we've never seen it.
Wait, OG Trey, I have a question, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
what's up?
So your entire argument, right, for why Pod should play instead of Moody is that Pods can dribble the ball up against pressure? Is that it?
See, the thing is, the way you guys
And then
are
he justified
repositioning
it by
this
saying Klay
argument is
Thompson's
that
No,
it's
better
no, no,
shooter.
no. Hold up. I need all of y'all to shut up.
What you just said? You just say that. You just say that.
I need everyone to shut up, and I need him to get his point across with no interruptions. I don't need anyone to interrupt him. I don't need there to be any loss of anything in translation. I need him to get his point across because I'm really trying to get to the heart of it on why Pods, should be at the starting two guard spot instead of Moody, right? So you're saying that, all right, so tell me everything in terms of why Pods should be in there, because again, sometimes I listen to y'all and I just let y'all rock, right? But now I'm really, really, really trying to understand why is it that Pods should be in that starting spot, right? And if it's because of the ball handling, Draymond Green handles the ball and Jimmy Butler handles the ball as well, right? So, so if they're not handling the ball, well, what else should they be doing on the court on offense?
Okay, so and that's what I was saying before you corrected everything. But the thing is, it's not a Pods versus Moody at the two. Like I said, I think Moody is a better three than JK is. Mainly in the position is the three that we're talking about. We're not talking about the two. And I can talk about the two in a second. But the reason I'm talking about the three specifically is our best three in recent years has been Wiggins. I think Moody replicates Wiggins a lot better than Jonathan Kuminga does, mainly due to the spacing, not needing to have the ball. Like he can still function in the offense without actually touching the ball sometimes. And his ability to connect the lineups with Steph, like his ability to play within the lineup that is with Steph, Pods, Jimmy, and Draymond next to him. His ability to play within that and defend on ball POA, like I said, mimicking Wiggins, is better than that of JK.
You know why Wiggins was so important? Because Wiggins could guard guards, and he could also Wiggins. The people that he would guard small forwards, and he could guard guards. Okay, right. That was like him guarding guards was actually like a cheat code in a way, right? Because to guard Kawhi Leonard, and then you're going to scale down, and then you're going to guard, say, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? Like not many guys can do that, right? Jonathan Kuminga probably can guard the small forward spot, and then he probably can guard fours. Okay. Wiggins would struggle to guard fours, but he would guard the three and he would guard the two, right? So we have that established. Moses Moody, right? What you're saying is that Moses Moody is more small forward. I think Moses Moody is more adept to guard the guards rather than guard the threes and the fours. You know what I'm saying? So when you're saying that he should be guarding threes, I think like, that's where he starts to get slightly out of position. So if you think about the matchups, right? You're saying, all right, say they what's a three that we had? I think it's probably better off.
Real quick. Don't think of this as guarding threes. Think of this as guarding the primary offensive player that's either a guard or a wing on the other. I don't want to say guard or wing, a 1 through 3 on the other team. It's not him matching up with small forwards or power forwards. It's him being able to take on the primary assignment.
Who's typically the lead ball handler in this case here, right? So say we're playing the Lakers, right? Who would Moses Moody be guarding?
Luka.
He would be guarding Luka.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're saying Moses Moody is more adept at guarding Luka
than JK?
Yeah.
Yes. And we've
So
seen
you
it.
would rather you would rather have Moses Moody on Luka Doncic than Jonathan Kuminga?
Yes.
All right. The thing about Luka is that Luka, the way that he gets buckets, right? He uses his body and his weight to bounce people, right? So you're telling me that you would rather put a smaller player on Luka Doncic than a bigger player?
I believe Moses Moody is more fundamentally sound on the ball. I believe his communication within like staying connected within the team scheme is better. And I think the scheme is going to matter more than Moses Moody, quote unquote, stopping Luka. I think his 7-foot wingspan is going to be plenty to contest. I think Luka's not a fast player. He's more slow-footed, more nuanced. I think that bodes well for Moody. It's just a matter of Moody funneling properly, not giving up certain spots on the floor easily. And then the rest of it is going to be scheme, Draymond, Jimmy Butler. But I think he's more capable of doing that than Jonathan is.
Eric, I got a question because OG Trey just cooked himself, right? You just said it's going to be a matter of Moody being more fundamentally sound, right? Having a 7-foot wingspan, which JK has a 7-foot wingspan as well, right?
Is he more fundamentally sound?
And then you wait, hold on. And then you said it's gonna be a matter of funneling in the right manner. What do you think JK was doing when we played the Lakers on opening night?
Are you gonna answer I asked you if JK is more fundamentally sound than Moses Moody.
I think that doesn't matter when it comes to defending.
Well, that was my point. So,
let me finish. Let me finish.
You're not actually refuting.
Let me finish. I'll give you that Moses Moody might be slightly more fundamentally sound than JK. Let's agree on that, right?
Okay.
Now I have a question for you.
Okay.
What do you think JK was doing to Luka when we played them on opening night? Was he funneling Luka into the paint against Draymond? Yes or no?
So earlier I said JK was playing great on defense, and I said he started to decline to his mean.
So we can agree that JK is a better defender for Luka than Moody. Yes
no,
or no?
I don't agree. I'm saying he looked good. I agree with you that he looked good in that game. But as the season has gone on, he has tailed back off to where he has looked.
What gives you that idea? What gives you that idea?
The fact that we're getting smoked on defense, we have no perimeter.
Wait, okay,
defense.
so you think
None.
Give me one thing that JK is doing worse, right? Than when he started this season. Don't tell me the whole team is getting. Hold on. Don't tell me the whole team is getting smoked. Don't tell me the whole team is getting smoked.
Hold up. Let me ask OG this. So when Kuminga was getting DNP'd last year, and when he was getting DNP'd in the playoffs, what was the reason why he was getting fried?
Why? Who was getting fried?
Why? What you mean? Why? Who was getting fried? The team. Why did Anthony Edwards go crazy?
Man. Why do we do this?
Why did Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards got hurt in game 2.
Are we deflecting?
Jimmy got hurt in game 2. Let's not derail.
Hold on.
Let's not derail the conversation.
All right.
OJ, are you just like alluding to the fact that JK is the root of our defensive struggles?
I know,
Is
and
that
I
what this
said
is
No,
that
about?
earlier,
again, I don't
guys.
know
I
how
said
many
that
times I
earlier.
have to tell you guys. It's not about one player. It's not.
So how will Moody change that then?
My point is that we've seen it work. We've seen it work. And my thought process is that Moody is a better on ball and team defender. Therefore, it will patch up more holes, even if it's not the best defense. Having less holes in the defense is always
Let me
going to
ask you.
bode
Let me
better.
let
So
me
why
ask you a
can't we
question.
just why
Hold
can't
on.
we
Let me
just
ask you a
start to where the
question.
root of the holes come from?
Ugh.
Let me
Eric, where's
let me
this
ask you a
on
Wait,
bar?
question.
hold on,
Hold
guys.
on.
We've
Hold on.
had
Hold on.
this
Wait.
conversation
Hold on.
about
Wait.
3 months ago.
Hold
We
on.
had
Look,
this. Wait, Earth.
twofold. Hold on. Auto.
What the
Twofold.
fuck?
Twofold. In the Rocket series, OG Trey. In the Rocket series, was Moses Moody benched or not?
Yeah, I think he did.
No.
Wait,
No, don't
no, he
think
always
he
started.
was benched. Don't think he
Oh,
was
Bruce,
benched.
right.
His minutes
Bruce,
were
Bruce, I'm
tapered.
starting to see a
If
pattern here. Hold
go
on.
ahead,
I'm
brother.
starting to
Go
see
ahead,
a
brother.
pattern here, right? So
Mm-hmm.
at that small forward spot, okay, we were
Mm-hmm.
turning Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga against each other, okay? Uh,
Oh,
right?
Now we're
And
doing the same thing.
we're the small
No, we're
sport.
not.
Oh,
It's not a. It's not a
Andrew
battle of
Wiggins.
anything.
What I
I
saw,
don't
right?
think Jonathan Kuminga's a small forward. He's always been a four, and we just
He's a
started
small
playing him at the
forward.
three. But
Here is a pattern that I'm seeing, and it's not just from you. I see it from multiple people, right? That small forward spot. Jonathan Kuminga is a small forward, right?
since
So we
when?
tried to
How many?
turn,
How many years has he played small forward on our team?
Bro,
bro.
No,
There's a
just
difference
answer that. No,
between.
is
because that's
Moody a
all that
4?
matters is how he plays
Hold on,
Is
here.
Moody a 4?
hear me out,
All
hear me,
that
hear me.
matters is how he plays here. What
Is
position has
Moody
he
a
played on the
4?
Warriors?
Is Moody a 4?
That no, we're talking about Jonathan Kuminga.
Okay,
What
no.
position
Is
has
you're
Jonathan
saying
played on the
because
Hold
he's
on.
Warriors?
oh my goodness.
Let me get this off for a second. So
Go
I'm
ahead.
seeing the pattern of that four spot. So Wiggins was turned against JK, and it was like, you know, let's butt heads about this 3-4 spot, right? So Wiggins left, right? And then we got Jimmy Butler in. So we got Jimmy Butler and we paid Jimmy Butler $55 million, right? So, when you pay a player that much money, guess what? Now you are really in bed with them. You know what I'm saying? Now you're really, really
all
in
right.
bed with them.
And
Right? So,
the beautiful thing about you saying that is because you could have divided 60 mil for three different individuals who brought something else to the team that you did.
hold
And
on,
again, I'm okay with Jimmy being on the team. That's
hold
not
on,
the
hold on,
direction
hold
I'm
on, hold
going.
on.
I'm just looking at the
Right?
deficiencies.
So we talk.
Wait,
Anyway,
we gotta
right?
go back to the original conversation, which was how Pods is in any way, shape, or form a better two guard than Moses Moody currently.
I
He's not.
explained that.
He's not, bro.
Right?
Like,
So my thing is like,
Podge can never be a better
from,
two guard than Moses
from
Moody.
what I know about
Bro,
Moses
and
Moody,
listen, guys, even Will Richards right now
Do
is
y'all
looking
You
like
think
a
cannot
about
lot
be.
better.
why don't y'all
Will
think from the
Richards
Warriors'
right now will play
perspective?
better than
No.
Pods.
It's
The
like y'all
Warriors'
are thinking as if
perspective.
y'all are building your own
No.
teams and not the Warriors.
Again. OG Trey, with all due respect, some things may have changed. I get it in this particular century, but the beginning of like the foundation is still the same. A
Right?
shooting guard is a shooting guard. It's no two ways around it. Traditionally, those guys could dribble,
Traditional.
pass, shoot, defend. So even now, in today's era, the shooting guards are the guys who defended an elite
hold on,
level.
Bruce.
Oh, all right, go
Let
ahead,
me
bro.
get the point off, right?
Go get that point
Um,
off, G.
we need to get away from, right? And if you think Kaminga is imperfect and all of that stuff, that's
For
fine,
low
right?
IQ.
But I'm not saying that Kaminga has to be the solution. But let me put out something about this. Every time over the last couple of years, we talk about 3-guard lineups, right? 3-guard lineups is a taboo, is a taboo term across Warriors Twitter, and it's a taboo topic even across Lakers Twitter. When you say 3-guard lineup, 3-guard lineup fucks us, bro. Right? Now we have to find a way to get away from the 3-guard lineup. So if you want my opinion, I don't think Moses Moody is a 3. I think Moses Moody is a 2. And when you have Steph, Pods and Moses Moody out there, guess what? That's a 3-guard lineup, right? So we need to figure out a way. If you don't think Jonathan Kuminga is the answer, that's fine. But it should be Steph Curry, Moses Moody, and whoever you think that 3 is. Because guess what? Jimmy Butler is going to be at the 4. Jimmy Butler is not a 3. Jimmy Butler is a 4. Jimmy Butler is a 4 like Bron, like Kawhi Leonard, like all those other old guys who don't have the foot speed to guard at the 3 anymore.
Why haven't we run that lineup then this year? Why do you think?
Which lineup?
The lineup
Because
that
Moody,
gave us the
because
most
Moody
success
was
last season.
injured. Because Moody was injured, and that lineup that Steve Kerr found is working. It's literally one of the 5 best lineups currently in the league.
What are you talking
Producing the well, let me put you the stat on the chat. Like I'm literally just like posting it, just like check.
So when I look at it, bro, I think we need to get away from the 3-guard lineup stuff, right? So when I look at the thing where we're gonna say like, all right, like this guy, you know what I'm saying? Now, all right. So here's the lineup thing, and I think this was what's the date on this?
It says November 5th.
All right, so 2 days ago.
100%.
So this is a lineup that they have. So Steph, Pods, Jimmy, JK, Draymond, plus 15.
So whenever I say that that's been tapering off, why are we ignoring that fact?
How has it been tapering off?
Eric, I will say this. I don't think Pods should be starting. I'll be the first one to say it right now.
Even if
He's
we
not a starter, bro.
start Pods, you have to put another ball handler in there. Period.
No,
Yo,
that's cap.
I don't
Cap. That's cap.
even think the issue is Potts. So in my opinion, Potts is not playing in his natural position.
Yo,
Potts is
Pedrin.
not a shooting guard. Yes.
Yeah, like y'all can get away with.
I think Potts is a point guard.
Hold on.
Why do y'all keep trying to change these players' positions when they play the same position their entire career on these teams?
We can
Their
get away.
position has not changed.
Hold on. We can get away with the ball handling thing if you're telling me that Jimmy Butler or Andrew Wiggins or JK is not a ball handler, right? But you see when you have Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler in the lineup, and then you're saying that you need another ball handler out there, like that's where once Jimmy
y'all
Butler
complain about Draymond and y'all want to use him as a ball handler, but when he's throwing the ball all over the place, y'all are upset with Draymond. We're going to use him as another ball
What is Jimmy
handler.
Butler's role on the team then? If you're saying that we need Pods out there as a ball handler,
so again, using the data and the information that we've seen with this team be successful, Jimmy has operated on the wing/elbow with Steph Curry running motion offense off the ball. Therefore, Jimmy is being the trigger man, except for unlike Draymond, Jimmy can actually score the ball. So when Curry's causing chaos, Jimmy is reading and reacting. And as soon as there is a mismatch, lopsided part of the court, Jimmy attacks it. When they collapse, he makes the right pass, makes the right play. That's why Jimmy's good. But if we have players on the court who need the ball in their hands, that takes away from Jimmy because there's not as much going on off the ball. And when you take a Pods off, who is actively looking to screen for players off the ball, move off the ball, do all of this stuff, you have to replace that with someone else who's going to be doing that. And my issue, that's another issue I have with Moody, is he doesn't do a lot of the off-ball stuff. He's kind of stagnant. He stands still a lot. Therefore, when you put a player
So I'm not gonna hold y'all boys.
Wait, one second. Well, let me finish. I'll let you go. When you put a player like Pods next to Moody, Pods is going to go screen for Moody. He's going to go call out for Moody to cut, set a screen so Curry can come around so Pods can set a screen for him. He's doing all of that stuff off the ball to help his teammates. So if we're going, and I'm fine with replacing Pods, that's fine, but you have to get another player who's active like that off the ball.
So let me just say this. If this is what the great Golden State villains dynasty have come to, of we're got to depend on a nigga who look like Jack Harlow who's going to set an extra screen. If that's what's going to help you, you said that he's setting a screen and then Moody or blah, 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 a whole bunch of nonsense, right? Why do you think this offense is so predictable?
But
This nigga just no, let me
Bruce,
just speak.
why
Let me
not
just speak. Hold on,
focus
hold on.
on
Let me
the
speak. Let me
Padres
speak. Let me
defense?
speak real
Because
quick.
that's what we're
Let me
talking
speak.
about.
Forget Paz's defense because Steph done got fried already, and I'm gonna point it out, and that's my goal. I done seen Draymond get fried, posterized. I done seen Jimmy get cooked. I done seen Moody get cooked. I done seen Kaminga get cooked. And what people don't understand is when you play this game long enough, it don't matter who you is, you are going to get cooked. It's inevitable, right? Like not everybody's going to turn into Cyborg, Kawhi Leonard, and just get 6 steals in a game. That's not normal, right? Having said that, if your offense is predicated on Jack Harlow being in the starting lineup and setting an extra screen, don't you think that's suspicious? Do you
Bruce,
think the
But what
defense
if that's
still
one of our
knows?
best
Do you
offenses, though,
think?
Bruce?
Do you think?
What if
Do
that's
you,
one of our best
do you
offenses?
think? Do you think the offense? Let me just speak, man. Let me speak.
Is it
Why do
this?
you think? Why do you think the Philadelphia 76ers, as great as Joel Embiid was, even with the injuries before any major layoffs, when they got to the playoffs, teams knew Ben Simmons, he is not going to look to score. Once we wall up, these are our best chances. And even when you acquire a Jimmy Butler and you play the Toronto Raptors to the game 7 or whatever it is, it doesn't even matter, bro, because
Yo, Bruce.
again, we
Bruce.
still like our
Bruce, we won
chances
in the
because
first
of
round versus the
Come
two
on, OG
seed with
Trey.
that
Irk,
same
Irk,
offense.
Irk,
come on,
Bruce.
man.
You know what these
Yeah.
arguments sound like? Sounds like Chetty Osman. This
Bro.
sounds like Ben Simmons.
Yo,
Sounds like
Lee.
those arguments in 2022,
Lee.
bro.
Lee. I'm gonna be dead ass, right? Like sometimes, so this is Saturday, right? So I'm actually not locked in with the other thing, right? So sometimes I'm here in the morning and I'm just like, I'm kind of focusing on two things, and I never really heard OG Trey's argument. You know what I'm saying? So this morning, I'm actually focused on like one thing. So I'm actually listening to the reasoning behind, Pods, Steph, Moody, Draymond, and Jimmy, and I'm just listening to it right now. And it's like, so the only reason why we're gonna have Pods on the court is for ball handling,
Right.
while we
No,
got
that's what you're extrapolating from it, Urkel.
all
You're
right, hold on,
extrapolating
hold
that
on.
that's
I'm,
the only
I'm
reason.
going to shut the
That's
fuck
not
up.
true.
I'm going to shut the fuck up, and I want you to go bullet point by bullet point by bullet point on what your argument is that as to why Pod should be in the starting lineup.
And by the way, Kim and OG Trey, could you explain to us too defensively how that is a benefit?
Oak Tree.
Okay.
I heard the
So,
offensive argument, but I
right.
want to hear the benefits defensively.
So the largest sample, like I said, we have not run.
We want his whole specific. Pussy boy.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So, like I said, we have not run that lineup at all this season. So I can only use the lineup data that we have, which is based off of last season. And that lineup to end the season had the best defensive rating. Tell me why that is.
Who they were playing against.
So it's only because of who they were playing against.
I think that had a lot to do with it in retrospect, yeah.
Okay. So if it's only because of who they're playing against, then I have no argument because we've played against those same bad teams this year and lost.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then it is what it is. But like I said, the lineup that we're speaking about has not played a single minute this season. So we can't really say whether it works or doesn't work. Based off of the data that we do have on last season, it did work. And it's part of the reason why we ended up where we ended up prior to injury.
I mean, that's a good argument. Like that was the lineup that speared that run towards the end. But could you tell me, just based upon just not saying it's the lineup, because I agree with you there, but from a basketball perspective, strategy-wise, how does that lineup hold or sustain itself over the course of the season defensively?
So I wouldn't, again, it's a starting lineup, so they're not playing the entire game together. It's really just how they're starting.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine to hold up defensively because that is a unit that communicates on defense. And our defense is more predicated on communication, rotation, and being on a string. It's not really predicated on our perimeter defender choking off the neck of their offense or, just completely shutting down their best player. We've never played that way. It's really about being connected, not giving up straight line drives, and allowing your help to help. That's really what our defense is predicated on.
This guy's his whole specific.
Just
So
keep it a
that's
buck.
how it's sustainable, is being connected. It's not like we need to
I'm
clamp
gonna just
down.
keep
It's
it a
really
buck.
about execution and connectivity on defense.
I'm gonna just keep it a buck. The biggest issue for the past couple of years was the 2 spot, right? And every now and then it would be the 5 spot, right? And I'm talking about since Klay Thompson went down from injuries, and Jordan Poole was one of the worst players in the NBA, had to go to the G League, developed into the G League, came back as one of the better players in the NBA. Andrew Wiggins was an all-star. And even at that point, if you want to even use, okay, well, Jordan Poole was another ball handler and blah, 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 blah. He didn't play defense, and Paz is a better defender.
We had a good back line that year, Bruce. Back line is more important than front line. On defense.
Brother, I'm gonna just let you know this. I don't know what line is more important, because again, I've seen teams
No
get it
ball.
done. Pardon me?
You know ball. You know the back line's more important.
Brother, I've seen teams get it done with a front line and a mid back line, and I've seen teams with a elite back line be exposed. The Rudy Goberts of the world, for the Utah Jazzes of the world, and for the Minnesota Timberwolves of the world.
Yeah.
My bottom line is this, right? You look at OKC, they just won a championship. Put everything aside, they just won a championship. Lou Dortz, this boy is a system ball handler. He doesn't bring the ball up consistently. He's not taking pressure off of SGA. Granted, SGA don't catch the defense that Steph catches, right? If anything, teams allow him to go ISO and kind of do his own thing and turn into the free throw merchant. That's a whole other argument. But the bottom line is, Lou Dortz can at least pop a 3 now consistently. He's a better shot maker, right? He is a better defender as well than even Paz or Moody or whoever you want to name, for example, right? Then you look at Jay Will. He can create his own shot. He can defend. He can go either weak hand or strong hand, right? Then the front court can cancel out itself. But I'm just looking at what has been a common denominator over the past years. It's been Steph.
You know our
It's been
defense will look
Draymond.
good with Chet Holmgren back there too, right?
I'm not disputing that, but again, the front court has its issues, and it's had issues even when JaVale and Zaza and those guys were there. But again, because of math, it's equal. You can equal the game out based off of a barrage or two and some gravity-free pixie dust points. The reality is, I'm okay with, like I said last year, and I say the year before, whatever. I'm okay with saying, trade Wiggins, but no more Wiggins is on the team. Who is to blame now? Okay, Kaminga's the issue. So you trade Kaminga. Trading Kaminga and getting Kaminga out of the equation. Because when Kaminga wasn't playing, okay, if you want to say they went 23-8, Kaminga wasn't playing. That's what contributed to that. Where was that same production once Steph went out, right? Because I would think I would think if you could go 23-8
But that
as a
was
collective, again, I would think, just like Steph Curry falling over a wet spot or Steph Curry getting hurt in the playoffs and Sean Livingston holds the fort down until he comes back game 4 against the Portland Trailblazers and drop 40 in overtime or whatever the case is. Again, we've seen dynamics where the team was able to win a game.
In what
You
year?
understand? Brother,
They're older, Bruce.
Brother, it
You're
has
missing
nothing to
that
do.
part. It's like we don't we like to
I don't want to
exclude
do that. I
important
don't want to do
details.
that. I don't want to do that. Steph Curry, before the 2022 championship, which is just 3 years removed, he missed a month because Marcus Smart wanted to be a meathead and break his foot.
Yeah.
Jordan Poole had to weather that storm, and I'm not going to say that they were on an 80 win pace or that the Warriors went 20-1. I'm not.
That's regular season, Bruce. We're talking playoffs.
Again, LDOT brought up strategy. You could hyper focus on playoffs and hyper focus on sample size. I'm just talking about getting back to common sense and using your eyes as it relates to basketball. If you are going to tell me this team has the better chance of winning a title because of player X being Jack Harlow into the lineup because he can set screens and pass the ball, I'm telling you, these niggas is cooked. That's my opinion.
Winning a championship will never be based on our role players. Period. Ever. Our championships were never based on our role players. It was always on Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, every single time. So trying to single out our role players is ridiculous. And the way we fix up, you always like to gloss over, like, if we do trade Jonathan, we're just getting back some. We're going to trade him for a piece that fits the team, whether that's at the 2, whether that's at the 3 or the 5. It's going to
And
be
what's
a
so funny?
piece
What's so funny?
that benefits the
A
team.
lot of y'all, say JK is cheeks, right? If he's cheeks, what you think you getting back for him?
That's beside the point. It doesn't matter what we think. We're fans. It doesn't
I'm
matter
gonna
what
just say this. This is what I'm gonna say. I seen DeAnthony Melton tear his ACL in a basketball game and still play great defense, right? At the 2 spot,
Sure.
next to Steph Curry. I also see him create his own shot with that same torn ACL and, pass the ball and so on for how many ever minutes he was on that leg. I don't get that same confidence from Pajinski at the 2 spot. I don't even get the same confidence from Moody. But I'm just saying, like, the way y'all make Jack Harlow, like, you got a fetish for this dude. I don't know what's going on.
I think you're just putting a lot of pressure. Like, you're putting pressure and expect. Like, I know he talks a lot. Cool. Like, and he should get whatever flack he gets for talking when he doesn't play correctly. Cool. But singling out him, like, at the 2 guard, like, that's where we're losing games. It's like, oh, it's because our 2 guard's bad. No, we are losing games for a lot of other reasons that have nothing to do with the single position or player. Whether that's, like, I agree with you guys, some rotation. Sometimes we put out bullshit. But I also understand that Steve Kerr experiments. So with that in my mind, which is why I said I'm not going to get too high or too low, because there's nothing I can do about it. If I know he's going to experiment in real time, I'm a human being. I'm going to react, be like, what the fuck is this? But then I'm going to realize that he's experimenting and realize that, hey, whatever happens, happens. Because it may be bullshit or it may work. But that's part of experimenting. At some point, he's not going to be experimenting to the extent that he's doing. Of course, he's still going to tinker with lineups, but it's not going to be going 12 deep. It's not going to be doing that or playing 12 people 10 plus minutes. It's going to be small adjustments. But it's like we've been fans of this team for over a decade, and Steve Kerr's done the same thing every single year, and we react the same way every single year. But we have these, and it's what makes Steph so great. We have these expectations every single year, but he's still getting older, so things are going to change. We're going to need more ball handlers. That way we can preserve him. That way, when it is time for us to, need a guy to take over in the 4th quarter or 3rd quarter, wherever it is where
OG Trey.
has legs.
OG Trey. Do you know what makes Austin Reeves special?
Tell me.
No, I'm asking you. What's your perspective on Austin Reeves?
Austin Reeves can dribble, pass, and shoot at a high level.
Because he's another white guy, and I know a lot of people when when you start speaking about positive things like that, people automatically make it seem like his race and so on, right? But see, and this is what I would tell LeBron fans, and let me give some credit to the other side over there, right? They should feel good within themselves, even though they probably shouldn't because they don't know what's going on with LeBron, if he's going to be there, the fake trade rumors or the fake sciatica, I don't know. But I told people this. Austin Reeves can actually dribble, he can actually pass, and he can actually shoot consistently and get to the free throw line. When Luka just came into the fold and LeBron wasn't playing, I don't know where he got his confidence from, but he must have drunk some of LeBron juice. He started doing 40 points and 15 assists, right? He started doing 40 points and 15 assists. The reason why he looks so lethal, even without LeBron, because he's already gained that confidence, right? And again, when you continue to keep replicating a certain performance over and over and again, to me, that means you're capable of doing it. Now, of course, when the superstars are there, you got to taper it down. You might not be able to do it on a night-by-night basis, but that's something you now bring to the table. I'm just saying, y'all make Paz seem like him. You telling me because, okay, I salute you, Paz. You lead the NBA in charges your rookie year. You know when to anticipate and take a charge. But when the organization is saying, you are untouchable, I'm holding you in high regard because the organization held you in high regard. You see what I mean? So I'm just
Bruce,
looking at it from that perspective. Like people are making it seem like he's doing Austin Reeves MVP numbers right now.
the
You see what I
biggest
mean?
issue, Bruce, is you want it one way, but it's the other way. Like you want him to play the way you want him to play.
No, that's not true because I've
But
never
it
even
is.
said, I have never even said, this is what I've said from the beginning.
Thank
I
you.
think Pods, I said from the beginning, I think Pods, because he's a lefty and plays in there's some nuances. I said his ceiling is probably Ginobili. That's me on record 2 years ago, right? Not saying he's going to do everything Ginobili did. And remember, Ginobili was a pro before he came to the NBA, right? I was just saying from a left-hand standpoint, excuse me, the Euros, the floaters and things of that nature, their little toughness and things like that, right? But again, I am not saying what I want him to do. I'm just looking at the tradition and the history of the game. The shooting guard. If you couldn't dribble, pass, shoot, defend like Michael Jordan, T Mac, Kobe, Penny, or the list goes on and on and on, you got to at least do something elite, whether it's score, Reggie Miller, or whether it's dunk, Jalen Green, something. It got to be
He
something.
can
What is
dribble
it that
past
you
and
do
shoot,
elite?
though. That's the thing.
He
You just
can't.
don't like the
But
way
see,
it looks. That's what I'm
hold on,
saying.
hold on. Wait, baby, wait. Give me a second. What I'm trying to say to you is everybody can shoot when they're open. You're qualifying shooting as just, oh, I'm in the corner. You pack, because if that's the case, PJ Tucker is a knockdown shooter, right? Leading the league at one point of his career from the corner, from 3 point. If that's the case, like I say, PJ Tucker was a shooter. Everybody leaves PJ Tucker open because he can't put the ball on the floor and do anything else. That is his game. That is his peak, right? But I'm not going to just look at, okay, he's averaging 35 or 40%. Oh, yeah, he's a shooter. Nah, because you're doing yourself a disservice. So, again, the shooting guard position, if you can't, and I'm not talking about just dribble and set up Steve Kerr's horns and his different actions that he's calling.
Again, he
talking about-
averages like 12 points, 5 rebounds, and like 3 assists. So what
So
is
how many-
that
how
not
many
dribble,
po-
passing, and shooting?
I don't know. We look at the game different, dog.
That's what I said. You just
thank God I
don't
was
like the way
born-
it looks. He's
Yeah,
doing
thank-
the stuff that you're saying. You just don't like
thank
the way
God-
it looks.
I'm so thankful the guy was born in New York City, and I've seen the greatest of greatest. Because if this is what you say
He's not
is
Pods
great,
isn't a great. He's not a great of great. He's never going to be that. So
Yeah.
why are you saying that? Pods is a
All right,
role
hold on,
player.
baby, I got you. Come
That's
on.
what I'm trying to tell you. He's a role player.
Yeah, but Jordan Poole's a role player too, doing 20 points a game, 50, 40,
Jordan
90 in
Poole
his first
stinks.
NBA playoffs.
Jordan Poole
Yeah.
stinks. He was
Yeah, I
good
know.
that year, but he stinks.
Yeah, I know.
I watch him.
Jordan
I
Poole
watch
is better than
watch
Pops.
Pelicans games. He stinks.
Jordan Poole
Dick sucker, Oak Creek.
Jordan Poole is better than Pods.
He was better than Pods on the Warriors. I agree with you. But
Jordan Poole, is
the player
better
right now
than
that I'm
Pods.
watching on television, stinks.
Yeah, and that's fine. And guess what? You're comparing a guy who was playing for
The
the
player
worst
I see
organization.
today
I'm not going to do that.
versus
I'm not going
another
to do
player
that.
I see
I'm not
today.
going to do that. I'm simply talking
They
about
stink.
Jordan Poole and the Warriors. I'm talking about Jordan
Yeah,
Poole
the
in the
official
Warriors
Pods dick sucker, Oak
uniform
Creek.
in a Warriors uniform. Simple.
Hey,
can-
you
you
want to
can
know?
focus
You want to
on-
know who was good? Clay was good in 2015, but Clay in 2023 was shit. See,
Yeah,
you
and that's
see how
how I
the
feel about
past doesn't
Pods.
matter because today
That's how I feel
that
about
player's
Pods.
not good, so it doesn't matter. Today Clay's not good.
What
Today
this-
Poole's
and
not good.
what I feel here's the thing, right? This is my bottom line, right? Again, you can focus on New Orleans Pelicans, you can focus on Wizards. I'm not doing that. I'm focusing on player X being Steph Curry's teammate, playing
Mhm.
next to him. We've seen player X, Jordan Poole,
Mhm.
start when Clay was out and came back in January. Start when Steph Curry went down with an injury. Start his first NBA playoff series, and we saw the production he did. Now you could say
We
the team
also
was
saw
better.
him be
Hold
the
on, hold on.
complete
Let me just
opposite
speak.
of
Let me
that,
just
Bruce.
speak. But
We
yeah,
saw both.
but here's the thing. But here's the but here's the thing. Let's not forget context. He got punched the entire. No, I mean like it's no two ways around it. It's a fact. He got punched. The video went viral. I went to go watch the Heat game versus
What
the
does
Warriors.
that have to do with him sucking today?
Again, I'm not talking about today. Again, I am not talking about today. For years, we've done this exercise for years where
He
we've
sucked
showed
after he
you.
got punched too.
Okay.
He was Steph Curry's teammate that year. He sucked.
Again. It just seems like I don't know. It seems like maybe you feel like maybe I took a personal jab at you or something. But the
No, I
point I'm
think
trying to say,
you're
the
just
point
flowing
I'm
in
trying
and
to
out of these
say,
different conversations, Bruce.
the
Poole
point that I'm
stinks.
trying to again, the point that I'm trying
That's
to
the
say,
fact of the matter. He
the
stinks.
point that I'm making, we've done this over the last 10 or 12 years, or where particularly playback in spaces where we've done the exercise where player is averaging this amount of stats. Once they join Steph Curry, where those increases go, right? And so we know it. It doesn't matter who you name, Harrison Barnes, I mean, Anderson, Varejao, the list goes on and on. Players are going to get better. I'm not disputing that, and I could care less about him stinking now. Quinn Cook is not in the league right now. JTA is not in the league right now. Otto retired. Like, okay, like you want a cookie? Everybody who played with Stephen left doesn't necessarily look too well. They might look well for a year or two, but again, I'm not trying to dispute that. I'm just simply saying the four spot is Draymond the four or is he the five? So that's the dilemma. And the two spot. From the moment Klay Thompson went down, you have not truly had a definitive two. And we know this because you switch your lineups every single game. So it is what it is. Y'all can
We
be a
haven't had a
believer.
definitive anything.
Again, you can be a
The only
believer.
definitive position we had is
OG
Steph
Trey,
Curry. That's
OG
it.
Trey, you can be a big believer in pods, like, but I'm not. You know what I mean? And
This
again,
has
I
nothing to
think
do with pods. You keep singling out pods. That's what I'm saying. You guys like to
no,
bring it
because
back to
you
pods.
made it
You
because you
guys
made
like to
it
bring it back to
personal. You made
JK.
it personal,
It's
and I was
not
saying to
about
you,
these players
you
individually,
made it personal, and I was saying to you, it wasn't even a Pods thing because in my eyes, I view Pods as a bench player, and if Pods
which
is
I
coming off the
said
bench,
he
if
is.
he's coming off the bench and he fills in like he did last night for a guy who's out, that he's the perfect player for that. I do believe that, but the notion of like you looking at NBA reference, looking at those numbers and saying he is a shooter, and now I'm watching the game and you need shot creation, and it takes Quentin Post to come off the bench to get the crowd going and to get the team going. It's like,
So,
we're not viewing the
talking
game the
about
same.
Quentin Post, do you know why Quentin Post was able to get going?
Nah, I don't know. Educate me.
Okay, because he's a big man, and their big man, whether it be Valanciunas or Jokic, isn't stepping out to the three. Therefore, he's getting open shots. He's not a guard trying to create offense against the zone defense where every player they're going against is bigger than them. So it's not about a single player. Post was able to take advantage of the scheme that the defense was running. The other
I'm gonna be
players were
honest with
not.
you.
It's
I'm
not
gonna be
about
honest with
a
you.
single player. That's
I'm gonna
my
be honest
point.
with you. Well, it is. What happens is that the only way to truly get better is to address everything, right? Draymond Green, he struggles when he's not playing with Steph, and he struggles when he doesn't have, some type of bruiser or spacer next to
The
him,
team
right? He's
struggles
better,
when Steph doesn't play, Bruce.
right? But again, when I see Pat Spencer come off the bench and outplay Pods, when I see Will Richard come off the bench and outplay Moody and outplay Buddy and outplay GP2 and all these things, it's an indictment because you said as an organization, player X, particularly Jack Harlow, is untouchable. So that's just my viewpoint. When you tell me he's the fan, because I don't know anything, I'm an idiot, right? You guys make 100K a year, if not more mills, right, to decide and create X's and O's and scout and all this. And so when you say this player is untouchable, right, that
That's
means
all
this
in the
player.
past, man. Like I hate this revisionist stuff. Like that's done. It's done. There's just nothing we can do about that anymore. All we can do is see how we can go
Well, I just never
forward.
believed it. You could say it's revisionist or that's done, but it just I know what my eyes tell me. You know what I mean?
Okay. Even if Pods doesn't start, who should start in his place? You're saying Moody,
I think
but
you know all the answers, so I would defer to you actually. So you
you,
tell
guys are
us.
saying Moody. Okay, we've seen Moody in these spots when there's no other ball handler and the offense looks bad. We've seen you guys act like we haven't seen these players in spots and it doesn't look good until a ball handler gets in the game and then stuff flows a little bit better. Y'all like to say that, oh, we have all these other ball handlers. There's plenty of times where Draymond's been on the court, Jimmy's been on the court, and the offense doesn't look good because there's not another ball handler on the court.
No, the offense doesn't look good because those aren't true scorers. What people don't understand is even if you put five niggas on the floor who can all handle the ball, and I'm not going to say got handles because, you know, it's two different worlds. Having handles and being a ball handler are two different things. Okay. Like if you can't successfully get out of a trap, if you can't successfully bring the ball up 94 feet and dribble with your weak hand and use your big man as a screener to
That's my point.
safely not turn over the
Moody
ball.
can't do that.
Again, and I didn't say he could, but I also mentioned Lou Dortz cannot either. And I just mentioned,
You always
okay,
do this straw man where you bring up another player.
no, I brought
Lou
up a
Dort has
team.
nothing
Hold
to do
on,
with
hold
this,
on,
man.
sir. Hold on, sir. Hold on. I brought up the defending champions. They're the barometer. If you want to win, you got to go through them at least. So I'm looking at what is it they have on their roster,
We
and I'm
match
just
up well against them.
I didn't say we didn't. I didn't say we didn't. But I also wanted to point out that Lou Dortz is not your traditional bring the ball up, hezzy tween, Jimbo,
He is going
great
to be on
fillet.
your guy bringing the ball up. Do you want him on Draymond bringing the ball up or Jimmy bringing the ball up all game?
Again, you're actually making my point, and I've said this for years. If teams, so for example, within the rule book, you look at the Lakers series a couple years ago. Within the rule book, if you're defending the ball handler, there's no illegal defense against you. You can stay inside the key. Right? And so when you have a Draymond handling the ball, because teams know he can't score, you can stay in the paint. If you're guarding Pods could probably make you pay every now and then from three, right? He struggled last year for a long stretch, but every now and again he could knock down a three. But can you do those other things? Can you stop on a dime and get to the free throw line 10 times so we can slow the game and play in the bonus? Can you
Jimmy
do that?
can.
Correct. And also because that is probably one of his biggest ways of scoring, it also takes a toll on his body. So if you've watched Jimmy Butler, right, he's always grimacing every single game, particularly those games when he's going to the free throw line because he's working for it, right? And so I'm simply saying if Jimmy's your ball handler and how he gets to get his buckets is by getting fouled and falling on his back. And if Draymond pretty much can't do anything. And so now teams are defending Pods the exact same way. You're compromised.
So
You're
no,
compromised.
no, stay there, Bruce, stay there. So now take Pods out and put Moody in. What are they doing then?
Brother, I've been said
Oh,
a
you don't
few
want
of
to
these
talk
guys.
about it. You don't want to get into it?
No.
Talk to me,
I
man.
am
What's going on?
again. I am only addressing the starters.
And I'm addressing what you just said by doing what you want, which is putting Moody at the two. And I'm saying if they're guarding Draymond and Jimmy that way, how are they guarding Moody with the ball in his hand?
OG Trey, I think you know all
Who
the
can't use
answers,
his
brother.
offhand? Who can't dribble up
OG
94
Trey.
feet against consistent pressure? You don't
OG
want to have
Trey,
the
I think you
conversation,
know.
Bruce.
I think you know all the answers,
No,
brother.
Bruce. This is what you like to do. You don't want to have the conversation. I'm addressing exactly
Stop
what
it, boo.
you
Stop
said.
it. Stop it.
Using the player you want at the two guard. You just
Listen,
proved
in
my
the
point.
offseason, in
Why
the
Pods plays.
in the offseason,
Irk,
Urkel
you
and these
said
boys
you
will
wanted
tell
to
you
know. He just
in
proved
the
my point as to
offseason,
why Pods play.
in the offseason and last year offseason before the season even started, I tweeted it several times too. And I said the Warriors need to go after a player like Neesmith, who is a baby Kawhi on defense.
Neesmith
And
is
I
a
said,
shot
no,
chucker.
listen
He's
to
a
what I'm
shot
saying.
chucker.
Listen
He
to what I'm
was not
saying.
going to
Listen
play
to
here.
what I'm saying, brother. Listen to what I'm saying. See what I mean? You throw a name out there and then you get so riled up. It doesn't matter.
You
He's a
want
better defender
players
than
that
Pop.
play like
He's a
you want
better.
them to play. You don't want Warriors
No,
players,
stop.
Bruce.
Relax,
You don't want
brother.
Warriors players. That's
Relax,
fine.
relax,
That's fine.
relax. Warriors players are the reason why you're here. Warriors players are the reason why you're watching teams score 100 points every single game.
Right.
Warriors players are the reason why niggas is telling media they want to be the person to pass the torch down to. But when you watching the game, nigga, you look like a G League player.
You're
So
right. And the player that
you're
you
not
want to
even
play
cashing.
is
Again, let me
actually
just say
not
what I'm saying. Let me
producing
just
at
say
the
what I'm
same
saying.
level
Let me
that
just say
you
what
want
I'm
to play.
saying. Let me just say what I'm saying because again, for some reason, you may have thought like I was trying to coddle Moody or coddle Kaminga, and that wasn't the case, right? My true point, and I said it from the beginning, there's two positions that have been having question marks for the past few years. It's the 2 spot and it's the 5, right? And that is a fact. It's no two ways around it.
We can get
Some
a
games,
player. That's fine, Bruce. I'm with you. We can replace or fill in those players. My point is, right now, the player that we have starting, there's no player better than him that plays that role.
yeah, I disagree, brother.
And I asked you about that, Bruce, and you refused to have the conversation. So if you're not
I
going to have the
disagree.
conversation, you can't say you disagree.
No. The Warriors started this season, and the lineup they started this season with, regardless of if it didn't look traditional or if a person didn't like it, I thought that was the roster or the lineup they should have rolled with for the next few games. Now, of course, losing 2 games, you're gonna take a look at everything. But at the end of the day, again, like I'm saying, people could say that he is, and I think that's what happens. You see something work for a week or two or a stretch, and you get complacent and comfortable. And then when you start facing like some real opponents, you get exposed. You know what I mean? So that's just how I'm looking at it. I just don't think this is the way the set lineup should be, in my opinion. And I don't think
Either
what's
way,
on the
Bruce,
bench.
you're still refusing to have the conversation because Jimmy and Draymond are going to start. You agree, right? And you said them with the ball, players are not guarding them. They're not doing this stuff.
You're getting
And
exposed.
then you also said the same thing with Pods. So I said, okay, we take Pods out, put Moody in. What are the teams doing then? And you started running.
I
You
said
started
two. I
running a
said it's
40.
two. I said it's two. No, I didn't run a 40. It's been maybe 10, 11 years since I ran a 4.3 and a 40. I'm not running a 40. What I'm saying to you is the 2 spot and the 5 spot. Those are question marks.
I
And
agree.
I don't think what on the 5, I would say, you know what? I like what I see from Quentin Post. I know who Al Horford is. So I'm comfortable with Quentin Post, Al Horford, and Draymond Green. So I'm comfortable with those
Be
new
quiet.
additions and the
Be
improvement
quiet.
of Post. But I'm not comfortable like I'm comfortable with what I see Moody doing from the bench, right? And I'm comfortable with what I see Jonathan Kuminga do. He's going through like a little stretch right now where it's up and down. And then again, he's just one of those players who are really not going to look well without Steph until that confidence is up there. And it is what it is. If you want to use him as a scapegoat, no problem. I ain't got no
True.
problem with that. But from the 2 spot, I made it clear. DeAnthony Melton with a torn ACL looked better than everybody that's playing the 2 spot. That is an indictment on everybody playing the 2.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
I think we got to find a way to have more positional size at every single position, right? Steph got positional size. Moody got positional size. JK got positional size. Jimmy got positional size. Draymond is Draymond, right? And
So kind of like Houston right now. Houston with positional size.
yeah, bro. So I think that if
Tell me how that works, Urkel. Can you explain to me how that works? Since Bruce didn't want to.
How what works?
That lineup.
I don't know all of the answers, OG Trad. I don't want to
Right.
lose
No,
respect. I don't know all
but
of the
that's what
answers.
you wanted, so you at least have an idea of how it's
Hold on.
supposed to work, right?
So all right. So of the 3 guys, right? Moody, Pods, and JK, because that's kind of where the musical chairs is at. Who's the best? Rank the defenders.
Mhm.
Moody, Pods, and JK. Who do you think 1 to 3? Who's
Since I know how y'all operate, what kind of defense are you talking about? Overall?
overall defense?
Overall defense. Overall defense, I'm gonna go with Moody first, Pod second, JK third.
Okay, man.
And I'll explain why. Let me explain why.
Uh-huh.
Moody, out of all 3, is the best on-ball defender. He's the best on-ball defender. His off-ball defense has shown good improvement. So I'll give him number 1. Pods is the best team defender of all 3. He's not a terrible on-ball defender. They all get blown by, because I know that's what we like to use. They all get blown by. But he's not a terrible on-ball defender. But he does lack the size, the length that you would want. Jonathan Kuminga has improved in both areas, specifically more off-ball, but his on-ball defense, I don't think it's improved. Like, I think it's taken as much of a step as it's going to take, because a lot of the fundamental stuff for like being an on-ball defender he just still lacks. So that's why I put him back there.
Let me
which
ask
is
it in
fine.
this way.
Go ahead.
Let me go situationally because I think I have to answer this in a situational form.
Okay.
You know the thing that Luka does and Bron does where they call up Steph, right?
Yep.
And then we get into a thing where we're pre-switching.
Yep.
And we're doing all of that stuff, right?
Yep.
And Steph is pre-switching with another guy, and then Steph ends up on the corner shooter.
Yep.
Then the corner shooter is called up, and the next thing you know, you have 3 seconds left on the clock. And by them pre-switching, it gets Steph away from the action, and it, in essence,
keeps him out of that mismatch.
It keeps him out of that mismatch, but it also burns time off the clock, right?
Correct. Yep.
Now, if say we're in that dynamic, right?
Yep.
We're in that pre-switching dynamic, and that is a specific, playoff type of situation that happens all the time, and it will happen, right?
Yes, sir.
Specifically with Steph, because we know what teams are trying to do, right? So how can we employ? So do you think if you put Pods in that situation, right, with Jake or with Steph, you would Pods would be a better option than JK, because you say Moody first, right? And then you go Pods, and then you say the worst defender of the three is JK. So you're saying that in that switching scenario, you would have Moody first, Pod second, and JK last.
You want to know what's crazy about this, Urkel?
Yeah.
We've literally seen it happen. When we went on that stretch post Jimmy, everything you just described saw happen on the court with the lineup that we haven't seen play any minutes this season. We literally saw all of that pre-switching, connectivity. That's why they were the number one defense.
So you saw that in the playoffs?
Saw all of that.
No. I'm talking about the playoffs. You saw that in the playoffs?
Yes, against Houston, we saw that.
I mean, so
like everything you're describing, we've seen.
So you saw a Houston offensive player trying to hunt Steph, trying to get him in action. And you saw somebody on Houston do that specifically? Because
I saw Houston play very rough and try to bully us. And that includes Steph.
I am talking about a specific example here because
I'm literally answering what you're saying.
Yeah.
I saw them try to do all of that, whether it's getting Steph switched onto a big, getting Steph switched on to Jalen Green, getting Steph switched on to Fred VanVleet. All of that happened, and we pre-switched, did everything, had defensive schemes in place. And we saw all of that happen in the regular season versus players who run pick and roll, get down it. We saw all of that happen.
All right. I want you to talk to me about the playoffs, because during that
that's such a small sample, though. We literally only have one series to go.
All right.
So
in the regular season,
that's what I'm saying.
Right? In the regular season, we were playing a lot of zone, right? Matter of fact, a lot of teams were playing a lot of zone, right? But that zone, there's a counter to it, right? So I have to figure out a way that we can play a defensive lineup that can hold up to any defensive strategy that they throw out there, right? So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I'm not saying that this guy's better than no. I'm trying to figure out for that specific thing, because when you get into a playoff series, I've seen us employ that strategy where we're pre-switching and we're doing all of that stuff, and it's worked against teams. And I've also seen when we got these 3 guards lineups out there, and you're calling up Steph, and it's like then Steph pre-switches with a guy, and it's a defender that's weaker than him. Then you call that guy up, and then it literally craters the defense. Next thing you know, there's collapses all over, right? So
But that's in the regular season, though. That's really in the regular season.
I'm talking about a playoff series. Like,
when have you seen that, though?
Bro, I literally seen it with Jordan Poole. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, see, that's in the past. We can't do anything about it.
No, but what I'm saying is that when we have been at our strongest, right, is when we have guys out there that you're giving them less bites at the apple in that specific situation. That is really, really important.
We're gonna get there, Irk. We're in game 9 or what? Game 11.
No.
We're gonna get there.
No. We can't have 3 guards out there, bro. And that's my problem.
Would you consider a guard our team? That's what I'm saying. You guys want these guys to be what you want them to be. Their positions have not changed since the day they got to this team. Moody has always been a small
You're
forward.
saying that no. Moose, I've watched Steve Kerr play Moses Moody all the way
At
up
the 4
to
too.
4, bro.
He's played at the
not
4, yes,
a
but he's always
I'm
been
gonna be that
a
ass,
wing.
bro.
He's never
not
been
a
a guard.
4.
He's always been a wing. Whether you
Bro,
want to call it a 3 or a 4,
hold
he's
on.
always been a wing.
He's not a 4. And to
I
be
don't think
quite
he's a 4.
honest,
He's a 3
he's
now. He's
really not a
solidified
3.
himself as a 3.
No. He's at the 3 because for some odd reason, Kerr doesn't want to put him at the 2. Bro, he's been playing 2 all of his life, but because
explained why he can't play the 2.
Why can't he play the 2?
Because at this stage
ball
of
handling?
and that's what I'm saying. At this stage of Curry's career, our 2 guard has to be able to handle the ball.
So if Klay Thompson was still here, would Klay Thompson be handling the ball?
Klay Thompson's not here because he couldn't handle the ball, because he couldn't shoot. He couldn't scale down. That's why Klay Thompson's no longer here. If Klay Thompson could handle the ball and play in a role like that, he'd still be here. But guess what? He couldn't scale down.
So
he was never asked to handle the ball. He was asked,
I would agree with that.
Done.
I would agree with that if we didn't have Jimmy Butler. Because if we're saying that Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala, and Draymond Green are ball handlers, I think that Jimmy Butler is Andre Iguodala that can score the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if we have 3 ball handlers on the court.
Apples to apples.
No, but it is though, because if we're saying that Andre is a ball handler, we're saying Draymond is a ball handler.
How old were they? How old were they at this point?
Andre Iguodala?
Yes, at the point in time that you're talking about, how old are these guys? These guys were
34, 35, 36. I think Andre was like in those last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So Andre's last year, I think he was like 36 years old. Andre Iguodala is.
You said Curry was what, 33?
No. I'm saying when Andre was here, like I would actually need to look it up, right? So I think in 2019, I think he was like 35 or 36. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, these guys are much younger, my man.
What do you mean?
Meaning they had more like we weren't necessarily trying to preserve them in the way that we're trying to preserve them now, to where they could handle the ball more. We were fine with them having the ball more, using more of their legs.
In 2019, Andre Iguodala was 35 years old.
35. Okay? Curry's 37 years old.
Right? So you're saying that we need a guard out there who is not necessarily the strongest defender next to Steph Curry. I'm going to be honest with you. I watch pods, right? And that is not, bro, pods and Steph is like having like Monte Ellis and Steph, bro. That did not end well. You know what I'm saying? One of them got traded.
It's
right?
not like that at all, though, because
Jordan Poole,
you're saying that
was back with Steph Curry, right? And you know why Jordan Poole held up? Because Andrew Wiggins scaled down and he guarded everybody, bro. He guarded.
That's what Moody's. I literally said Moody's the closest thing to
Wiggins. But I don't think Moses Moody is anywhere close to Andrew Wiggins, right? I think we have to put Moody at the 2.
That's closer than JK. That's why I brought it up. If he's closer than JK, that he can play the 3, or he should.
I think we have to put Moody at the 2 and then JK at the 3. Anytime I've watched JK play at the 3, he's played pretty well, right? And I don't think the ball handling is that important where Pods needs to be out there.
But okay, if Moody was off ball
rankings, bro, I don't think
Moody could move off ball like a Klay Thompson, then sure, I would agree with you. But like I said, Moody is more stand around. He can run some sets because he knows what he's doing. But outside of
hold on, Eric, I got a question.
Hold on 1 second. So when you say that Pods is a better defender than Jonathan Kuminga, it's kind of like saying that Austin Reeves is a better defender than LeBron.
But it's not, because I can tell you why. And no, you're saying better. See, that's what I'm saying. The nuance is what I said. Pods is a better team defender. Moody is a better on-ball defender. So if Pods are
who's the better on-ball defender, right? Is it Jonathan Kuminga or is it Pods?
It's a wash. It's a wash.
Humphrey said was casual.
Because Who are you asking, Jonathan? If I put Moses Moody on the primary offensive player, and I'm asking Pods to guard the secondary player, or asking JK to guard the secondary player, I think they both would do okay on the secondary player. But Pods is going to fit into the offense and do more off-ball stuff and more of the dirty work than JK.
What?
So hold on. What you're saying, right? You're saying that you would rather have Pods guard ball rather than Jonathan Kuminga.
No, see, you're trying to change my words around. What
No,
I just said, no,
Yeah,
Urkel, you're
I
not going
literally
to
asked the
change my
question
words.
specifically, bro.
I
No,
just said Moody is going to guard the primary offensive player 1 through 3. So if it's a 4, if it's a big man, guess what? That's not on Moody.
All right.
1 through 3,
Kirk,
Moody
I
is
have
guarding
the
the
perfect
primary
question.
offensive player.
All right.
Kirk, I have the
Pods,
perfect
Here's
question.
how this sounds to me.
Urkel,
This is
Urkel,
what
I
I'm
have
hearing.
the perfect question.
This is what I'm.
Okay.
Hold up. This is what I'm hearing, right? I swear to God, this is what I'm hearing, right? OG Trey is trying to treat Pods like we are treating Steph, right? Steph is the engine of the offense, right? And what it sounds like is that Trey is trying, or Oak Tree is trying to make a concession for Pods' ball handling like we do for Steph's offensive carrying.
So who was Urkel? Who was Wiggins guarding when he was on this team, and who was our 2 guard at the time?
Wiggins was guarding. Well, Klay Thompson was the 2 guard, and Wiggins was guarding.
The best offensive player, right?
Yeah. So whoever.
Okay, who was Klay guarding? Who was Klay guarding?
Klay was guarding like the off-ball shooter.
Okay, so that's my point. I'm okay with Pods guarding the off-ball shooter because I know his team defense is better than JK's. I'm okay with JK guarding the off-ball shooter, but his team defense isn't as good.
Oh, hold up. That's not how NBA offenses work, right? NBA offenses is a bunch of mismatch hunting, right? So if we're mismatch hunting, right, and we're selecting Steph, Pods, and Moody, right? Which one would you rather mismatch hunt? Steph, Pods, Moody, or Steph, Moody, Kuminga?
Again, just because you're mismatch hunting doesn't mean we don't have a defensive scheme employed for you to mismatch.
What are you talking about?
Dude,
so you see, like,
Urkel, you literally just told me, how are we going to pre-switch, do all this shit to literally combat mismatch hunting, and now you're trying to counter the argument that you just made by saying
No.
Which is it? You can't have it both ways, Urkel. We're either going to have a switching defense that can pre-switch and do all this shit, or we're going to get hunted on defense. It can't be both.
It's going to be worse if you have guys, if you have to do it to a higher degree with dudes who aren't capable of defending at a high level.
Again,
that's why we're having issues with our defense now. Because
but hear me out. Hear me out. You just said that the 2 guard is guarding, or in the case of Wiggins being here, the 2 guard was guarding the off-ball shooter. So if I'm saying that Pods is a better team defender, that means off-ball than JK. Why would I want JK? We are literally seeing JK sag down off of shooters right now, leaving them open for wide open shots. Okay. And I'm saying that we have a better team defender, and you guys are like disputing this.
Let me say something on that point that you just mentioned. Hold on, Brandon. I'm going to let you cook, but let me address something because he said something very interesting, right? And it's in the confines of what I've been talking about all morning. When JK is sagging off of the shooter, right? And he's been doing that because I've been annoyed at that until I got a little bit of info on this, right? So how do I know that JK isn't sagging off of the shooter based on analytics because they're telling him to do that?
How do you know that they are?
How do I know? I don't know, because how do I know he's not sagging off of that shooter? Then he can go back and grab the rebound.
We don't know anything. Like you guys tell me every time, trust your eyes, and my eyes see him doing it. So the reason behind it matters not because they are killing us doing it.
Okay.
So to me, that's bad off-ball.
How do I know? How do I know the sagging off and dudes shooting left and right? How do I know that is not a strategy? Because a little birdie told me this morning.
It's working. Well, the strategy's working then. It's working because they're shooting our fucking face off.
how do I know that's not a strategy? But hey, if y'all are listening to me carefully, I'm trying to tell y'all some stuff without telling y'all some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, because I was annoyed with the Sammy, what up? I was annoyed with the sagging off and all of that stuff. And then somebody told me something this morning, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? So how do I know?
Man, I'm not going with all this he said, she said. What I see on the screen is we're letting shooters shoot the ball. And if we're gonna create this whole argument against the player and do all this stuff of people who we would rather have out there, we need to be honest, because Moody is our best on-ball defender.
Hold on. What he's saying is so fucking dumb.
Oh yeah, lay it on me, Brandon.
He does not understand the NBA or defensive coverages.
Is that because I don't gamble?
Okay, I know. You're an idiot. So
is that because I don't put up props?
Golden State has played Denver twice. They have not played them once. They've played them twice, you dumb clown.
We're 1-1, you dumb clown. We won one, lost one, you dumb clown.
Pods could not guard in either game. Pods was benched for overtime, and Golden State defended well. What was Denver's strategy? What was Denver's strategy last night?
How many minutes did Brandon? How many minutes did Brandon?
The reason why
the that game,
3-point shot is open is
I just
because
realized y'all
Golden
are both
State cannot control dribble penetration. What Draymond Green said, and you can pull up the video. What Draymond Green said is we have no point of attack defense. They are getting directly to the hoop on dribble penetration.
What does that have to do with
Pods? The reason the 3-point shots are open is because players like Pods.
Hey, Brandon,
it's not just Pods.
If we have no
point of attack,
if we have no perimeter defense,
players get directly to the
can't single out a player.
I'm on stage. You already gave your take. Shut up.
You're on stage.
So when players come to the basket, when players attack the basket, and there's no point of attack defense, that forces the defense to collapse. And guess what? It leaves shooters open. And because Golden State cannot play man defense with Pods and Curry, they're playing zone. Golden State played zone against Milwaukee without Giannis. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Golden State had to play zone with Curry and Pods against the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis on the court. And when you play zone, it is extremely easy to matchup hunt. And so what teams Denver did this last night, when Denver got off to a 16-5 start, that was because Denver was matchup hunting smaller players like Pods. When Golden State went big in the first quarter, they went on a huge run, and they basically pulled the lead to within 6. When Golden State went big in overtime when Golden State went big against Denver in overtime, they won the game. And so the point is, the West,
Steph Curry played in that game, Brandon.
People like, I know. I'm literally finishing here. I heard your take. You don't understand the NBA. You don't understand the words, okay? Here is the point.
Like that,
the West is much bigger this year. The West is much bigger.
Let him talk, bro.
Athletic. The West is much bigger and more athletic. And this is what these people like.
You know what? You're right. I'm gonna drop. You got it.
This is a different Western Conference. Okay? This is a very different Western Conference. This is not Portland winning 20 games. This is not New Orleans winning 21 games and Zion plays 5 games. This is a much bigger, more athletic, stronger Western Conference. The lineup Steve Kerr started doesn't work in general. He started the lineup against the biggest team in the NBA. Against the biggest team in the NBA, he started Green at the 5 and Pods at the 2. That lineup does not work. All teams are doing, it's more on Steve Kerr than Pods. It's more on Steve Kerr than it is on Pods. But the small lineups in this bigger, more athletic West, they do not work. The reason why the 3-point shot is open is not because of Kuminga. It's because Golden State can't control dribble penetration because the Warriors are not big enough. Teams penetrate, the defense collapse, the shot is open. It's just dumb to scapegoat Kuminga. The issue's point of attack defense. It's Golden State's lack of positional size, and it's Kerr's lineups. It is not Kuminga.
Thank you, Daddy. Yeah, the official Pods dick sucker, Oak Creek.
And just quickly, Pods.
Where did Brandon go? Did somebody mute Brandon? Hold on. You had to mute Brandon, did you?
Yeah, I'm saying the West is much bigger and more athletic this year. The lineups that worked last year, Golden State's best lineup last year, Curry Pods, Moody, Green, and Butler. That lineup doesn't work as well this year. It's matchup specific. Against bigger teams like Denver, Golden State has to play bigger. Golden State played bigger against Denver in the first matchup. It worked. And Golden State played bigger against Denver at times last night. It worked. You cannot play the small lineups like Kerr started against teams this big, because the main point that Dumtree missed is the reason why teams are getting open shots is not because of Kuminga, because the teams are getting open shots because the Warriors are playing too small, and that's more on Steve Kerr than Pods. It's more on Kerr than Pods. But Golden State's playing too small. They can't control the point of attack. Teams attack, the defense collapses, the shots are open. That's not on Kuminga. He's 230. He's not the issue there. And I said it's more on Kerr than Pods. The lineups don't make sense.
Guzzo
Anyways,
is
that's
with black athletic men.
Bro, I think we need more positional size out there. I think Draymond, they got to use Draymond sparingly at the 5, but they got to figure out like the Draymond dynamic, right? And I feel, honestly, bro, I feel like the best solution to the Draymond thing is literally putting him at the 5, right? So they got to figure out like how they can do it, because bro, I'm telling you, Draymond is the problem, man. It's a big problem. You can't have him at the 4 because guess what? Jimmy Butler has to be at the 4. This is a problem. This is a problem.
But when you say that Green is the problem, I don't agree with you there, because going back to what I said, I think the West is much bigger and more athletic this year.
Yeah.
And so you can't, when you play Green at the 5, it's matchup specific. Like you can play Green at the 5 against Oklahoma City. Golden State's matched up very well with the Thunder because Hartenstein is not a scorer and Chet plays like a wing. So Green can guard Chet, he can guard Hartenstein. The problem is when you play Green at the 5 against, and this has been an issue for Golden State against Denver for multiple years. When you play Green at the 5 against Denver, Jokic hunts him and Gordon
Why
hunts
didn't we
him,
watch the
and
game?
Denver
Why did we
also
pull up the game
crushes
film?
them. Denver also crushes them on the boards as well. And so and I made this point before, when Golden State beat Denver the first game, they went big. They did not play Green at the 5. So Green does not work at the 5 against Golden State. And when I watch Steve Kerr with these small lineups, Steve Kerr is intellectually incarcerated. He is so wed to this ideology
can we pull
of
up the
small
game
ball
film?
and small ball. I know, Oak Tree, I'm finishing here, then you can go. Timeout time.
I'm not gonna
Small
go.
ball
I just
does
want to watch
not
the game
work in
film.
2025. Steve Kerr is like a general trying to use a strategy that hasn't worked for 3 years. Small ball in 2025 does not work. The Spurs have Wemby. The Denver Nuggets have Jokic. Oklahoma City has Chet and Hartenstein. Now, you can play Green at the 5 against Oklahoma City if you have positional size on the perimeter. But if you're playing small 1 through 5 in this big athletic West, you're getting cooked. You can't. Small ball doesn't work anymore. Steve Kerr's trying to use a 2018 strategy in 2025. His strategy is outdated and it's not working. And Pods is not a plus defender, but Kerr is putting Pods in bad
Brandon,
spots.
why do you keep singling out Pods?
You're cooked again.
I just said I did not just single out Pods.
But you
I
keep
said
when you say Pod's
backcourt.
name, that is literally singling him out.
I know. I'm. You just asked me a question. You can ask or answer questions. You can't do both. So
You haven't answered it.
Well, I know. I'm answering your question. What I said is that the primary issue is Steve Kerr playing small ball, and the other thing is this is Steve Kerr's roster. Mike Dunleavy drafts. He brings in free agents. Melton, Hield, drafting Pods. Mike Dunleavy is only going to bring in players Steve Kerr's going to play. So this is Kerr's roster. It's a small ball roster. This is Steve Kerr's philosophy. He wants to play small. If you play small against a team with Jokic and with Aaron Gordon, you won't just lose, you will get obliterated. Golden State lost this game in the first quarter because the Warriors had to play from behind the whole game after they went down by double digits. And so my point is that Pods does not work next to Steph, but the bigger issue is lack of positional size and Steve Kerr's flawed philosophy.
Do we have hey Brandon, do we have any good perimeter defenders?
Yeah, Moody's a good perimeter defender. Kuminga's a good perimeter defender.
So what happened yesterday?
What I said is the main issue is Golden State was too small.
No, but I'm asking about our perimeter defense, not about our size. If those are two good perimeter defenses or defenders,
and this is where you expose
what happened?
yourself. This is where you expose yourself because it's one and the fucking same, you clown. The issue with the perimeter defense is lack of positional size.
But you just said Moody.
It's the
and
same
JK
thing. There's no difference between the two.
Are they small?
Those were not the players. Who was being attacked more by Denver, Pods or Kuminga?
Pods was being attacked more, but my question to you is, when Pods wasn't on the court,
I asked you a question.
They were still blowing us out.
Why was Pods being attacked more?
Because he's smaller.
Right, because he's smaller.
Yeah.
The issue is positional size.
So when he wasn't on the court, Brandon,
point.
when he wasn't on the court, and Moody and JK were,
the defense
where was the perimeter
better.
defense?
When Pods came off the court,
No. Pods is on the bench. Pods is sitting. He's no longer on the court.
Was better when Pods was off the court.
We were still getting blown out and outscored. Everyone was a negative.
Right. Steph Curry's not on the floor. Golden State's going to be a negative.
So now it's about Steph Curry being on the floor.
No, that's not what I said. Two things. I know it's hard for you to understand, but
it sounds like you're all over the place.
Okay, I'm not. My take is very succinct and simple.
Okay.
Golden State is going to lose this game no matter who they played because Jimmy Butler played like shit and Steph Curry was not on the floor. Number one.
Okay.
Golden State did not need to get blown out. The main reason Golden State didn't just lose, they got blown out, was what I said. Lack of positional size, which meant you had no perimeter defense. And so my point is that the West is too big. Denver's the biggest team in the NBA.
The gap's too big.
You cannot play playing players like Pods against Denver doesn't work. A great example is what happened in the first quarter. Golden State
Brandon,
was playing
the
zone.
most important thing that you said in this whole soliloquy is that we were going to lose anyway. Nothing else you say matters.
I know.
We were going to lose, period.
I'm finishing here in 5 seconds. Golden State was playing zone in the first quarter. Golden State was playing zone in the first quarter. They were too small. What did Denver do? Aaron Gordon, Jokic, they attacked Pods on every play. Pods is not a good defender. Now, again, the main issue is Kerr and small ball. He's putting Pods in situations where Pods is going to fail, but Pods is a fringe NBA player. Pods is a fringe starter in the NBA. The only reason Pods worked as a starter last year is A, Golden State had a very weak schedule, and B, the West was much weaker. Pods is not a starting player for 82 games. There is no playoff team in the NBA that would start Pods other than
Brandon. You know we haven't run a single minute of that lineup from last year this season.
Right, but again, Pods does not work as a starter in the NBA. My point is small. He's an idiot. He missed my whole point. My point is that the Warriors starting lineup last year, when they played 30 games with Butler, Green at the 5, Butler at the 4, Moody at the 3, Pods at the 2, Curry at the point. That lineup's too small. And that's why that lineup was not an 82-game lineup. That lineup was not going to work for 82 games last year. It worked for 30 games, mostly against smaller and weaker competition. And what he's missing when he says Golden State didn't play that lineup this year, Golden State's still playing small. And my point is that small lineups are matchup specific. The West is much bigger, stronger, and more athletic. You cannot roll out small ball lineups every night unless you want to lose. And Denver's the biggest team in the NBA. The other thing, this is my final point on this, Golden State knew small ball didn't work against Denver. It didn't work the first time these teams played. When Golden State went big and they took Pods off the court, they defended Denver very well. That's why they beat Denver in overtime.
Exactly.
I know, hold on, I'm finishing here. Did Steve Kerr learn from that? No. He went back to playing small ball because he's arrogant and he's rigid. He can't adjust.
Thank you, Daddy. Cooked again.
All right, I'm out.
All right, I'm out. You're cooked again. Cooked him like a bitch.
Point. When we played Denver on the first game, Steve Kerr has to go to a big lineup because the small lineup was failing. And he went back to a small lineup again last night, and we lost. But let's blame the guys and not address the fucking coach.
Bro, I just need. All right, last night. Let's talk about last night specifically. Were they hunting JK in actions, or were they hunting Pods in actions? If they are hunting Pods in actions, I mean, it does, bro. That 100% matters, bro. And that's a scenario that I'm talking about. So I didn't even talk about last night, right? I gave you a situation. I gave you a situation, and I said, who are they hunting? Are they hunting Pods or are they hunting JK, right? And if you're going to put somebody beside Steph, you have to let the defense think in terms of who are they going to hunt, right? Like if they're going to hunt, that's the simplest form of NBA offense. Is to hunt. You want teams to get into other actions where they're going to make a mistake.
You realize how hypocritical y'all sound whenever y'all talk about division and players. We divide the player. You guys divide the players. Oh, Pods can do this. Pods can. It's all singling out Pods. You guys don't speak in general about the team. It's not the team played bad defense. We deployed a bad strategy on defense. We weren't communicating. We weren't switching. We weren't doing anything. It's always one player. And
I am
talking
going
about,
to break it
oh,
down.
it's because we're small. No, it's because we're not doing all of the things that add up to the larger part in playing defense.
So I am
it's
going
not
to
a one-player thing.
No, it's not a one-player thing, right? But it's like if a certain guy is getting hunted. All right, so if Andrew Wiggins is out there, is the defense calling up Andrew Wiggins?
So if they hunt him and miss a shot, and we're sunk, or not even miss a shot, and we sink down and leave a shooter open, we're blaming that player. But if another player comes in, that same thing happens. It's no longer he's being hunted. It's that we're what? What do you want to call it then? Because they were collapsing our defense no matter who was out there. So just because Pods is out there and he happens to be getting collapsed on doesn't mean other players weren't also getting collapsed on.
So
we just didn't acknowledge it as them being hunted. When in reality, if everyone's getting fried, everyone is equally being hunted. Everyone is being killed out there.
So you're saying that Pods wasn't getting hunted. He was just happened to look like he was getting hunted, but everybody else was getting hunted.
I'm saying our defense as a whole was bad. It'd be different if our defense was good, and except for when Pods was out there, because when Pods was out there, he was getting hunted. When he sat down, our defense was good. Then I would be able to acknowledge you, and I would have no problem acknowledging that.
All right.
But
So
my
what
point
you're saying,
is,
all right,
the defense was bad no matter who was out there.
So what you're saying is that everybody was getting hunted equally, not just Pods.
Everyone was getting fried equally, yes.
All right. Okay.
But hey, Trey, you say yesterday that Moody is the best POA on the team, and Moody started yesterday. So what happened?
Would him being the best POA doesn't mean he is the best POA in the league. He's a lockdown defender. I literally said everyone got blown by.
On the team, not on the league, on the team. And then today on the podcast.
And you have selective hearing because I've said multiple times today that every single player got blown by.
Which one is
Whenever Urkel and I were talking about Moody, Pods, and JK specifically, I said all three of them get blown by, but Moody is our best on-ball defender. We like to use the both things can be true, and this happens to be an instance where both things are true. He is our best, and they all get blown by.
Remember when we're in the finals?
So you say he's our best defender, but we don't have any defender of the team.
Oh my God, Pedrin.
I'm asking.
Pedrin.
I'm asking you.
It's really simple. Here, I'll make it simple for you. I'll make it very simple for you. We don't have any defenders.
I understand you perfectly.
No. You don't understand. You don't understand. So I'm gonna make it simple. We don't have any perimeter defenders. Don't ask me again.
I don't think it's a matter of we don't have any perimeter defenders. I just feel like it's a matter of
No, he's being ignorant. So that's what it is right now. We don't have shit.
No, Juju said before that we don't have any defenders.
And what you're trying to do is poke holes in an argument that I'm not making. Our defense as a team is bad. I believe we will fix up and it'll come around. Right now, our defense is bad. That's all there is to it. It's not on one player. The entirety of the defense is bad.
No, I'm not saying that it's on one player,
But
right?
you keep mentioning Pod, so don't tell me it's not on one player. And I keep hearing the same name come up. I don't hear anyone else's name come up more than Pods.
So two things can be true,
and
right?
it's not about Pods.
No, it's not entirely about Pods. However, when I see somebody out there and they're getting hunted and it's like a primary strategy for a team, we kind of have to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say that Pods is an awful player, but he was getting hunted last night. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that goes back to what I was talking about earlier, is that if he's getting hunted and he's the guy next to Steph, then that's a problem.
So he was getting hunted and he was a minus what? 15. Jimmy Butler was a minus 20. So that means they were getting outscored more.
Now you're doing single game plus minus, man.
JK was a minus 19, which means he was getting outscored more while he was on the court.
What?
Buddy Hield was a minus 17.
That's not how this thing works, bro. Stop it.
So regardless of
plus
getting
minus
hunted,
work.
You're insulting
That's
us.
That's not how plus minus work.
I know what you're trying to say, bro, but I'm not singling out Pods. But what I'm saying is that if we are to, if we're built around Steph and we're trying to extend Steph and we're trying to, we're trying to save his legs. One of the main ways you do that is, you have guys
better defense around him.
Yeah.
But you guys aren't honest about the defense. That's the issue.
So you're saying that Jonathan Kuminga, if we're in a dynamic, right, where we're mismatch hunting, and mismatch hunting happens a lot, right? If we're in a dynamic where we're mismatch hunting and we're saying Pods, Moody, and JK, you're saying that the first guy that the defense would want to hunt is JK and not Pods?
So you're worried about the person and not actually about how the mismatch hunting works. Because if someone's going to hunt you, it's even more important that you're connected on the back line with communication and switching, right? And my point about it is Pods is a better communicator and backline switcher than JK is. So you can frame it as, oh, they're attacking Pods, they're hunting Pods. But my point is with JK out there, maybe they're not hunting, but he's going to make mistakes as far as communication and off ball goes that is still going to result in points being scored. So I would rather live with us being able to be connected on the back end and have a scheme against what we know they're going to do and be able to prepare for it rather than be disconnected and have more size out there just to have more size. Because I don't disagree that he's bigger, more athletic, is more length, all of that. But it doesn't matter if the defense is still breaking down. But if you're not breaking down the defense and you're just giving up size, then I think that's something you can live with because they're not going to make every single shot on a mismatch. At some point, that's going to become inefficient offense if our scheme is executing the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. We just got fried last night, bro. We just got absolutely fried. And, I'm looking for a solution next to Steph. I think the scheme that they're trying to play right now, I think they need to, boil that up and throw it out and never go that route again. You know what I'm saying? End of the day, you have to do the work. No one is going to do the work for you. Everyone has a responsibility out there. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how they want to preserve you. I think everyone at the end of the day needs to pull up their bootstraps and hike up their shorts and play defense. You know what I'm saying? So That thing that we're trying to do where we're trying to preserve guys, fuck that, bro. Everybody needs to play. And if we have to preserve you, you don't deserve to be in the NBA and you should be out the league, you know, spending more time with your kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I see it. You know, if you're not up to the task to manage physically, right? And I think when you're out there playing basketball, you should be out there playing basketball, and you should not be trying to get rest within the game. Like, fuck that, bro. No. It's either you can do the job or you can't. You know, that's just the cycle of life, bro. Your body fails you. Your mind is there, but your body fails you. That's just a cycle of life, you know? Give somebody else a chance. That's just basketball. You know, and basketball, when you're in your 30s, you know, it's really, really hard to play, bro, because it is a thing that is super demanding on you physically, right? But it is what it is, man. You know, that's why it's a young man's game. But if somebody can't manage, you know, and we have to be out there sacrificing and doing this scheme and, you know, yeah, let's not do that. Anyways, let me pack it up for a few hours, and I think we're going to come back and watch a Laker game. But good discussion, though. But I just wanted to drop a few nuggets on y'all and something for y'all to watch for going forward, because we got some things to watch going forward. But yeah.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me up.
I'll talk every time, bro. I'll talk to y'all later.
Y'all be easy.
Easy.